भारती के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए जीने वाले, जूझने वाले आप सबके दर्शन करना ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य की बात है। ये मूड, ये विजय संकल्प रैली ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे विजय महोत्सव मनाने की रैली है। और आज देखिए सुखद संयोग, आज विजय संकल्प रैली हो रही है, उसी समय हमारे कर्नाटका में कलबुर्गी में जो कांग्रेस पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष की कर्मभूमि है, आज वहां मेयर, डिप्टी मेयर का चुनाव था और कलबुर्गी में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मेयर, डिप्टी मेयर जीत गए। कांग्रेस पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष के घर में भाजपा का विजय डंका बज गया। ये एक प्रकार से विजय संकल्प रैली का शुभ संकेत है कि विजय यात्रा आरंभ हो चुकी है। ये दृश्य एक कलबुर्गी का नतीजा ये साफ दिखा रहा है कि डबल इंजन सरकार की धमाकेदार वापसी का निर्धार कर्नाटका ने कर लिया है। अब मैं तो बहुत पहले से मेरा कार्यक्रम बना था, इसलिए मुझे आज आना था, लेकिन इसी समय कलबुर्गी के मेयर का चुनाव आ गया। कल जरूर कांग्रेस के हमारे साथी बयान देंगे कि मोदी आया था, जरूर कुछ किया होगा, इसलिए कलबुर्गी में कांग्रेस पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष के घर में ही उनको मुंह की खानी पड़ी। पता नहीं कैसे कैसे आरोप लगा देंगे ये। भाइयों बहनों, ये विकसित कर्नाटका के लिए डबल इंजन की सरकार को आप सबका आशीर्वाद है। साथियों, मैं श्री हरिहरेश्वर, ताई भुवनेश्वरी और इस क्षेत्र के सभी पवित्र मठों को आदरपूर्वक नमन करता हूं। आज जहां ये सभा हो रही है वो दावणगेरे और हरिहर के बीच में है। मां तुंगभद्रा का आशीर्वाद क्षेत्र इस क्षेत्र को है। हरिहरेश्वर मंदिर के रूप में यहां हरि और हरा का समन्वय होता है। ऐसे स्थान पर कर्नाटका भाजपा की 4 विजय संकल्प यात्राओं का आज महासंगम हो रहा है। और हमारे यहां कहा जाता है, जब कोई यात्रा करके आता है, उसके दर्शन करते हैं तो आपको भी उसका पुण्य मिलता है। आज मुझे भी इस सभी यात्रियों का दर्शन करके आज मुझे भी पुण्य मिला है। मैं कर्नाटका भाजपा के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को इन सफल यात्राओं के लिए हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं और मैं लगातार इसकी जानकारी लेता रहता था। हर जगह से वीडियो मेरे पास पहुंचते थे और मैं देख रहा था कि इन यात्राओं में जो जनविश्वास मिला है, जो उत्साह और उमंग मिला है, जो समर्थन मिला है, ये अभूतपूर्व है, अद्भुत है। लेकिन अब हमारी जिम्मेवारी शुरू होती है। पूरी करोगे? ये जिम्मेवारी पूरी करोगे? दोनों हाथ ऊपर करके बताइए, जिम्मेवारी पूरी करोगे? पक्का करोगे? ये यात्राओं में और आज इस महासंगम में ये जो उत्साह, उमंग, जन समर्थन मिला है, इसको अब हमें आने वाले 3 महीने कड़ी मेहनत करके हर बूथ पर पहुंचाना है। पहुंचाओगे? पहुंचाओगे? हर बूथ में जाओगे? हर बूथ में उत्साह पहुंचाओगे? हर बूथ में एक नई शक्ति, नई ऊर्जा भर दोगे? हर बूथ जीतने का संकल्प कर लोगे? जरा जोर से बताइए, हर बूथ को जीतने का संकल्प कर लोगे? शाबाश। साथियों, आज यहां इतने सारे समर्पित साथियों को देखकर मन बहुत भावुक भी हो रहा है। मैं कल सोशल मीडिया पर कर्नाटका का ही एक वीडियो देख रहा था। एक पार्टी के बड़े नेता, कर्नाटका के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री, उनकी ही पार्टी के एक कार्यकर्ता को सार्वजनिक रूप से थप्पड़ मारने का आनंद ले रहे थे। जो अपने कार्यकर्ताओं का सम्मान नहीं कर सकते, वो जनता जनार्दन का सम्मान क्या करेंगे? मुझे गर्व है कि भाजपा में कोई छोटा नहीं है, कोई बड़ा नहीं है। हम सभी कार्यकर्ता बिल्कुल बराबर बराबर है और इसलिए आपका दर्शन करना ये मेरे लिए बड़ा सद्भाग्य है, सौभाग्य है। ऐसा भाव मेरे मन में आता है। कर्नाटका भाजपा का हर एक कार्यकर्ता मेरे लिए मेरा एक मजबूत साथी है। कर्नाटका हर कार्यकर्ता मेरा परम मित्र है। कर्नाटका का हर कार्यकर्ता मेरा सहोदर है। भाइयों और बहनों, भारतीय राजनीति में लंबे समय तक आरोपों की, आक्षेपों की राजनीति चली है। बीते वर्षों में भाजपा ने इस गंदी राजनीति को बदला है। पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ परसेप्शन को भाजपा ने पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस में बदल दिया है। इस बात की गवाही इस साल के शुरुआती 3 महीने में भी दे रहे हैं। अभी मैं बेंगलुरु से व्हाइट फील्ड मेट्रो लाइन का उद्घाटन करके आ रहा हूं। इससे पहले तुमकुरू को एशिया की सबसे बड़ी हेलीकॉप्टर बनाने की फैक्ट्री मिली। शिवमोगा एयरपोर्ट का लोकार्पण हुआ। दुनिया के सबसे लंबे रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म से एक कर्नाटका को मिला। बेंगलुरु मैसूरू एक्सप्रेसवे का लोकार्पण हुआ। नारायणपुर लेफ्ट बैंक कैनाल के प्रोजेक्ट का लोकार्पण हुआ। आईआईटी धारवाड़ के परमानेंट कैंपस का लोकार्पण हुआ। जल जीवन मिशन के तहत दर्जनों प्रोजेक्ट का शिलान्यास और लोकार्पण किया। साथियों, गिनते ही रह जाएंगे लोग, क्योंकि ये दिन रात काम करने वाली डबल इंजन की सरकार है। डबल इंजन सरकार मुफ्त राशन से लेकर मुफ्त इलाज तक गरीब की हर जरूरत का ध्यान रख रही है। सिर्फ 3.5 वर्षों में ही लगभग 40 लाख नए नल कनेक्शन कर्नाटका में दिए गए हैं। इससे माताओं बहनों का जीवन बहुत आसान हुआ है। इस साल के बजट में केंद्र सरकार ने अपर भद्रा प्रोजेक्ट के लिए 5,300 करोड़ रुपए स्वीकृत किए हैं। इसका भी बहुत बड़ा लाभ इस क्षेत्र के लोगों को, मेरे किसान भाइयों बहनों को होने वाला है। साथियों, जब डबल इंजन सरकार नहीं होती है तब क्या होता है, इसका उदाहरण पीएम किसान सम्मान योजना में है। साल 2019 में जब केंद्र की भाजपा सरकार ने योजना शुरू की, तब यहां कांग्रेस जेडीएस की सरकार थी। बार बार कहने के बाद भी कांग्रेस जेडीएस ने बहुत कम किसानों के नाम केंद्र सरकार को भेजे थे। जब कर्नाटका में डबल इंजन सरकार बनी तो उसने कांग्रेस और जेडीएस की गलतियों में सुधार किया। आज कर्नाटका के करीब करीब 60 लाख किसानों को प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान योजना का लाभ मिल रहा है। अब तक दावणगेरे के भी 1.5 लाख से ज्यादा किसानों को भी लगभग 350 करोड़ रुपए दिए जा चुके हैं। मुझे खुशी है, केंद्र सरकार पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि के जो पैसे भेजती है, कर्नाटका की भाजपा सरकार उसमें और पैसे जोड़कर हमारे किसान भाइयों की ज्यादा मदद कर रही है। यही है डबल इंजन सरकार का डबल फायदा। साथियों, दावणगेरे जिले में तो संत सेवालाल महाराज जी की जन्मस्थली है। संत सेवालाल महाराज जी ने बंजारा समुदाय की लड़ाई लड़ी। इसी वर्ष बोम्बाई जी के नेतृत्व में भाजपा सरकार ने बंजारा समुदाय के परिवारों को हक्कू पत्र देने की शुरुआत की है। हमारा जो मंत्र है दलित हो, आदिवासी हो, वनवासी हो, महिलाएं हो, बुजुर्ग हो, जो वंचित है, उन वंचितों को वरीयता, वंचितों को प्राथमिकता, ये हमारे हर कदम में नजर आती है। ये हमारे संकल्प को दिखाता है। भाइयों और बहनों, कर्नाटका ने अवसरवादी और स्वार्थी गठबंधन की सरकारों का लंबा दौर देखा है। ऐसी सरकारों से कर्नाटका को हमेशा नुकसान हुआ है। इसलिए कर्नाटका के तेज विकास के लिए भाजपा की पूर्ण बहुमत की स्थिर सरकार बहुत जरूरी है। आप बताइए भाइयों, जब किसी को बहुमत नहीं मिलता है तो हमारे कर्नाटक का हाल बुरा होता है कि नहीं होता है? होता है कि नहीं होता है? होता है कि नहीं होता है? अब कर्नाटक को मजबूत स्थिर सरकार चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? पूर्ण बहुमत वाली सरकार चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? मजबूत बहुमत वाली सरकार चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? भाइयों बहनों, अब पहला काम कर्नाटका को ये जोड़ तोड़ की राजनीति से बाहर लाना है। हमारे कर्नाटका को तेज गति से आगे ले जाना है और इसलिए भाजपा की पूर्ण बहुमत वाली मजबूत स्थिर सरकार ये कर्नाटका के लिए आज समय की मांग है। कर्नाटका के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए ये बहुत आवश्यक है। जरा मेरे कर्नाटका के भाई बहन बताइए, क्या कर्नाटका चाहता है कि मैं भी आपकी सेवा करूं? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि मैं भी आपकी सेवा करूं? जरा जोर से जवाब दीजिए। क्या मैं भी आपकी सेवा करूं? जितनी ज्यादा हो सके उतनी सेवा करूं। हर कर्नाटका वासी की सेवा करूं, हर गांव की सेवा करूं। अब मुझे बताइए, अगर मुझे सेवा करनी है, आपके लिए मुझे कुछ करना है, तो मुझे कर्नाटका में भाजपा की मजबूत सरकार चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? आप सबको जिता करके लानी चाहिए कि नहीं लानी चाहिए? पक्का लाएंगे, घर घर जाएंगे। भाजपा कर्नाटका को विकसित भारत का ड्राइविंग फोर्स बनाना चाहती है, जबकि कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को नेताओं की तिजोरियां भरने वाले एटीएम के रूप में देखती है। साथियों, कांग्रेस वाले हर चुनाव से पहले झूठी गारंटी की एक पोटली लेकर घूमने लगते हैं। इनकी गारंटियां कैसी होती है, इसका ताजा उदाहरण हिमाचल प्रदेश में हम देख रहे हैं। वहां अभी चुनाव हुए थे। उस चुनाव के पहले ये कांग्रेस के लोग ऐसे बड़े बड़े वादे करते थे, ऐसी बड़ी बड़ी घोषणाएं करते थे, ऐसी बड़ी बड़ी पोटलियां खोल देते थे। उन्होंने वादा किया था रोजगार का, उन्होंने वादा किया था भत्ते का, ये मुफ्ती गारंटियों का पिटारा लेकर गए थे, लोगों को भ्रमित कर रहे थे। कुछ दिन पहले हिमाचल सरकार का बजट आया, तो चुनाव के पहले उन्होंने जो गारंटियां दी थी उसका कहीं नामो निशान नहीं दिख रहा है। क्या ऐसी कांग्रेस पे भरोसा कर सकते हैं? ऐसी कांग्रेस पे भरोसा कर सकते हैं? जोर से बोलिए, ऐसी कांग्रेस पे भरोसा कर सकते हैं? झूठे वादे करने वाली कांग्रेस पे भरोसा कर सकते हैं? क्या ऐसी कांग्रेस को कर्नाटका में पैर रखने की जगह देनी चाहिए? क्या पूरी तरह उनको निकालना चाहिए कि नहीं निकालना चाहिए? आज हिमाचल की जनता कांग्रेस को बार बार पूछ रही है कि चुनाव के समय जो वादे लेकर के आए थे, जो गारंटियां लेकर के आए थे, अभी तो 3 महीने नहीं हुए, उन गारंटियों का क्या हुआ? ये सब हवा में उड़ गई। कर्नाटका के लोग भी जागते रहे। ये ऐसे ही खेल खेलने वाले के लिए कर्नाटक एक मौका न देना। कांग्रेस ऐसे ही जनता को धोखा देने में माहिर है। साथियों, आज कांग्रेस के पास देश के लिए, कर्नाटका के लिए कोई भी पॉजिटिव एजेंडा नहीं है। इसलिए कांग्रेस सपना देख रही है, और आपने सुना होगा क्या सपना देख रही है। जो लोग हिंदी समझते हैं उनको बराबर समझ आएगा। मैं बताता हूं कांग्रेस वाले क्या सपना देखते हैं, और कभी कभी पब्लिकली बोलते भी है। कांग्रेस वाले कहते हैं, मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी। ये कांग्रेस वाले कहते हैं, मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी। लेकिन ये कांग्रेस के लोगों को पता नहीं कि कर्नाटका के लोगों ने संकल्प ले लिया है। अगर उनका संकल्प है मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, तो कर्नाटका का सपना है मोदी तेरा कमल खिलेगा। मोदी तेरा कमल खिलेगा। मोदी तेरा कमल खिलेगा। देश की जनता का, कर्नाटका की जनता का कमल के खिलने में ही विश्वास है। मेरे कर्नाटका के भाइयों बहनों, कमल में समृद्धि का, संपन्नता का, निवेश का, आगे बढ़ने का एक जबरदस्त विश्वास है। दुनिया आज भारत की तरफ देख रही है, और भारत हमारे कर्नाटका की तरफ देख रहा है। कर्नाटका में वैश्विक निवेश को आकर्षित करने वाले बेंगलुरु जैसे अनेक हब बने, ये भाजपा का विजन है। इसलिए कोरोना काल में भी विदेशी निवेश के मामले में ये हमारा कर्नाटका प्रांत अग्रणी रहा है, और इसके लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी और उनकी पूरी टीम को बधाई देता हूं। भाइयों बहनों, ये दावणगेरे टेक्सटाइल का हब है। केंद्र सरकार देश भर में 7 मेगा टेक्सटाइल पार्क बनाने वाली है, और इन 7 में से एक ये हमारे कर्नाटका में बनने जा रहा है। कल ही हुबली धारवाड़ में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग क्लस्टर प्रोजेक्ट के लिए भी केंद्र सरकार ने स्वीकृति दी है। इससे भी हजारों नए रोजगार बनेंगे। अब जब कर्नाटका का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर आधुनिक हो रहा है तो खेती से लेकर सर्विस सेक्टर और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर तक हर इंडस्ट्री का विस्तार होने वाला है। ट्रेडिशन और टेक्नोलॉजी से समृद्ध कर्नाटका में भाजपा सरकार की वजह से युवाओं के लिए अनंत अवसर बन रहे हैं। विकसित कर्नाटका के लिए यहां पूर्ण बहुमत वाली भाजपा सरकार बहुत जरूरी है। ये संदेश हमें कर्नाटका के बूथ बूथ तक पहुंचाना है। मुझे भाजपा के प्रत्येक कार्यकर्ता पर पूरा भरोसा है। आप इतनी बड़ी संख्या में यहां आए, ये अपने आप कर्नाटका के मिजाज को दिखाता है। भाइयों बहनों, मैं जरा आपसे कुछ पूछना चाहता हूं। जवाब देंगे आप लोग? जवाब देंगे? जरा जोर से बोलिए, जवाब देंगे? आप मुझे बताइए, आज पूरी दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान के नाम की गूंज है कि नहीं है? हिंदुस्तान का जय जयकार हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? अमेरिका में भी हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? जर्मनी में भी हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? फ्रांस में भी हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? अफ्रीका में भी हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? सिंगापुर में भी हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? इंडोनेशिया में हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? जापान में हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? चारों तरफ हो रहा है ना? क्या कारण है? क्या कारण है? ये दुनिया में डंका बज रहा है, क्या कारण है? जरा सब बताइए, क्या कारण है? आपका जवाब गलत निकला। आपका जवाब गलत निकला। ये दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान का डंका मोदी के कारण नहीं, ये आपने जो एक वोट दिया था ना, उसके कारण बज रहा है। ये आपके एक वोट की ताकत है जो दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान का डंका बज रहा है। भाइयों बहनों, हमें कर्नाटका का जो डंका है ना, वो भी अब जोरों से बजाना है। और इसलिए आपके वोट की ताकत कर्नाटका को दुनिया भर में मशहूर कर देगी। भाइयों बहनों, इतना बड़ा उत्साह, इतना उमंग, इतना जोश, अब ज्यादा मेहनत का काम शुरू हो रहा है। अप्रैल महीने के पहले सप्ताह में मेरा कर्नाटका फिर से आना होने वाला है। वर्ल्ड टाइगर डे के लिए मैं कर्नाटका के टाइगरों के बीच आने वाला हूं और कर्नाटका के टाइगर टूरिज्म का भी बहुत बड़ा आकर्षण बने, उसके लिए भारत सरकार एक बहुत बड़ा आयोजन अप्रैल महीने के प्रथम सप्ताह में कर्नाटका में करेगी। और मैं भी आने वाला हूं, फिर से आपके दर्शन करूंगा। और इन 10 दिन में आपने क्या काम किया है उसकी भी जरा पूछताछ करूंगा। साथियों, ये कर्नाटका का प्यार, मैं जहां गया करीब करीब हर इलाके में जाना हुआ, आपने जो प्यार दिया है, आपने जो आशीर्वाद दिए हैं, उसने हमें एक नई शक्ति दी है, नया विश्वास दिया है, नई ऊर्जा दी है। और मैं इसके लिए दावणगेरे की धरती से कर्नाटका के हर नागरिक का सर झुका करके धन्यवाद करता हूं, मैं उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं। आप सबके मेहनत, देश के लिए जीने का आपका संकल्प, इसके लिए मैं आप सभी मेरे साथियों को भी आज सर झुका करके नमन करता हूं, प्रणाम करता हूं। मेरे साथ बोलिए, भारत माता की आवाज पूरे कर्नाटका में गूंजनी चाहिए। भारत माता की, भारत माता की। अब आपके मोबाइल की फ्लैश लाइट चालू कीजिए और विजय संकल्प का प्रकाश, विजय संकल्प का प्रकाश सब दूर पहुंचाइए। ये विजय संकल्प का प्रकाश हर बूथ में पहुंचाना है। विजय संकल्प का संदेश हर बूथ में पहुंचाना है, हर परिवार में पहुंचाना है। फिर से बोलिए, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
The Prime Minister speaking there in Davangere, where he's made a couple of important points. He has said that while addressing the Vijay Sankalp Yatre Mahasangama, he said that the politics of perception have been transformed into politics of performance under the BJP governance. He also addressed that huge gathering there. It's a massive road show just before that gathering where many people came out to listen to the Prime Minister waving to the crowd right now, the Prime Minister, after closing his address. A very short break right now, much more coming up on the other side. 8 days on, Amritpal still at large. Fresh CCTV footage shows he was in Patiala. And Tejasvi questioned by CBI. Misa Bharati interrogated by ED in connection with land for job scam. Stay tuned.
कर्नल जमाल, एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहाँ पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है, अब बाद में चढ़ लेंगे। सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें, पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे, उनके लिए खोल दिया। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन्स आपने चढ़े, इतने कॉन्टिनेंट्स पे इंक्लूडिंग एवरेस्ट, सबसे मुश्किल कौन सा था ये बताइए।
सर आई वुड से एवरेस्ट इज ऑलवेज द डिफिकल्ट वन। हालांकि लॉट ऑफ पीपल से सर एवरेस्ट में आजकल हर कोई चढ़ रहा है, बट लेट मी टेल यू सर, एवरेस्ट रिमेन्स एवरेस्ट. Everest is the highest mountain in the world and it will remain so. And I have find Everest to be the most difficult.
Most difficult.
Most difficult sir. Ultimately crevasses उस खुम्बू ग्लेशियर में आपको क्रॉस करने हैं. Ultimately वो लोत्से फेस में जो 70 डिग्री की वॉल है वो आपको चढ़नी है.
डर लगा कभी?
सर आई थिंक डरना भी जरूरी है सर, बिकॉज डर जब आपको लगता है आप सतर्क रहते हैं.
The United Kingdom is officially telling the people of India and the government of India that it couldn't care less. The United Kingdom is telling the government of India that it wants to do business with India, but it will do nothing to defend Indian interests. The London
All right, viewers, getting some big breaking news coming in right now, and what we are learning so far is that it looks like a mysterious blast has been reported at a factory. Now, this has happened in the Samba area. It's said to have taken place inside a scrap factory, and forces have ruled out a terror angle, well, so far. Now, this is the exclusive image which is coming in on this story, where you can see that there seems to be some kind of the couple of vehicles which are present at the spot, along with some police personnel are also present at that spot, viewers. So these are exclusive images coming in. Now what we know so far is that a mysterious blast was reported. Now this happened at a factory, and this is a scrap factory, and forces have so far ruled out a terror angle. The blast in fact was reported there. But what we are learning so far is a mortar shell that exploded while inside that scrap factory. That's a detail which is coming out. Let's go to Aravat, who's joining us live right now. And Aravat is exactly where this blast has taken place. Now, Aravat, there are a lot of angles coming in. One is that it's a mysterious blast, but then again, according to the Jammu and Kashmir police, they say it's a mortar shell that exploded. What are the details that we're picking up, Aravat?
Yeah, exactly. Right now we are outside the scrap factory, and you can see, my VJ can show you, this is the exactly spot where this blast took place. Around it was 2:30 p.m. when the blast took place, and there are multiple sources. They are claiming that there are some blasts that took place in this. It may be that there are some old rusted shell, and there are some terror angles also, but there are some officials and they are investigating about the authenticity of this blast that took place. We are learned from the sources that the one person has lost their life in this blast, and you can see here my Vijay Sarjivan is showing you some exclusive visuals from the inside. There are some top police officials who are also present, and they are verifying about the facts about this blast that took place in the Bari Brahman sometime before their. You can see, my Vijay can show you the outside visuals. There are some civilians also who are waiting about the confirmation, the blast that took place. There might be some civilians who are still inside and they are waiting for them. Here there are some injured. They have been shifted to the, and we will try to go to some persons who were present here in some time before. आप मुझे बताइए क्या हुआ था जब ब्लास्ट हुआ, आपने सुना?
ना अभी नहीं सुना, अभी आया मैं, अभी आया.
यहाँ पे कुछ सिविलियंस वगैरह भी हैं. हालांकि you can see in visuals some top officials who are coming to this location. We will try to go to the some persons who are coming here at this very Brahman. Jammu and Kashmir police top officials reached to this location, and we will try to speak to some officials from the police or some locals. DIG police is here. आप मुझे
नहीं यार तो परा हो अली यार सानू
प्लीज सर.
You can see here people are not ready to speak as there is no official confirmation as of now. DIG police reached here, and some police officials reached here sometime before, and some is on the way, and you can see the ambulance is deployed here. There might be some more. Right, back to studios.
All right. Okay. So one person, and right, Aravat. So we're learning also that one person has lost a life in that blast. Still waiting for more details from you, Aravan. Taking a very short break, much more coming up on the other side as a mysterious blast has been reported in Samba area. Coming up next, the BJP has hit back at Rahul Gandhi, says he cannot take high moral ground on corruption. And from Delhi to Wayanad to Kolkata, Congress workers hit the streets over disqualification. Stay tuned.
There is this 26/11 incident, terror attack on Mumbai, and both nations suffered together. Do you think in that backdrop, post that, there is coming together of the two governments and the people to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
No doubt. I think that challenges, fears of people are pushing them to work together, and I think that the mutual concern of terrorism, especially when in Mumbai they also went after Jewish community, Israelis, of course in the Chabad house. So I think that our cooperation is also based a lot on counter-terrorism.
कर्नल जमाल, एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहां पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया, तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है, बाद में चढ़ लेंगे, सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team, and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें, पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे, उनके लिए खोल दिया। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन
A massive explosion took place at the chocolate factory in Pennsylvania. The factory was severely damaged after the blast which occurred in the afternoon on Friday. The firefighters rushed to the spot as plume of black smoke spread from the factory. The firefighters had to look through heaps of rubble for survivors. At least 2 people were killed and several others were injured in the incident. The injured people were taken to the nearby hospital. The fire was reportedly caused due to gas leak at the chocolate factory. Further investigation into the incident is underway. Agency report for Republic TV.
चाहे स्टेट हो, चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं सच्चाई को देखता हूं। मुझे और किसी चीज में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। जीवन की तपस्या है, उसको मैं करता हूं।
From democracy and under attack to Savarkar insult, Rahul repeats charges post disqualification. Stay tuned.
I wrote Adi Shankaracharya, Hinduism's greatest thinker, and I will take off from what Vivek said. कि देखिए, जो ये विराट विरासत है, उसको समझने के लिए जो ऊपरी तय है, उसके नीचे जाना बड़ा जरूरी है।
What is there to say about the Puranas? Oh, we know about the Puranas because we watched Purana stories on television. We have read, no, you don't read it anymore, but once upon a time we have read Amar Chitra Katha. All of that is Puranas for dummies.
There is this 26/11 incident, terror attack on Mumbai,
and both nations suffered together. Do you think in that backdrop, post that, there is coming together of the two governments and the people to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
No doubt. I think that challenges, fears of people are pushing them to work together, and I think that their concern, mutual concern of terrorism, especially when in Mumbai they also went after Jewish community, Israelis, of course, in the Chabad house. So I think that our cooperation is also based a lot on counterterrorism.
कर्नल जमाल, एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहां पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया, तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है, बाद में चढ़ लेंगे, सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team, and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें, पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे, उनके लिए खोल दिया। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
Addressing his first press conference after being dismissed as Lok Sabha MP after his conviction in a criminal defamation case, Rahul Gandhi said that the democracy is being attacked again and again in the country. Rahul Gandhi in his press conference complained about his speech made in Parliament was expunged. He further added that some ministers lied about him asking help from foreign powers. He added that he will continue to fight for democracy in India and he's not scared of a prison term or disqualification.
The opposition party is protesting right outside the parliament at the Vijay Chowk. We have seen uproar in both the houses where the houses have been already adjourned till Monday. Whereas we are also seeing certain demands of the opposition party. They are saying that they want JPC to be made in. On the other hand, they are also protesting on Rahul Gandhi's issue where Rahul Gandhi has been already given the punishment for 2 years.
Hundreds of Congress workers who are marching in from the KPCC office on Queen's Road, Mr. Siddaramaiah, who are going on and making sure that they will approach the governor and demand that the SC/ST hike in Act will be brought under Schedule 9, because this has been a long pending demand of the BJP, the Congress and the JDS as well. The Congress have taken this particular march at a time when the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in the state of Karnataka, and they will intensify their demands against the Basuraj Bommai-led government.
The struggle is
कुछ भी हो, मैं सच्चाई को देखता हूं। मुझे और किसी चीज में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। जीवन की तपस्या है, उसको मैं करता जाऊंगा। चाहे मुझे डिस्क्वालीफाई करें, मारे पीटे, जेल में डाले, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। मुझे अपनी तपस्या करनी है।
From democracy under attack to Savarkar insult, Rahul repeats charges post disqualification.
राहुल गांधी को शर्म नहीं आती, करप्शन की बात करते हैं। भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का पूरा जीवन ईमानदारी की खुली किताब है। राहुल गांधी जी, आप तो स्वयं बेल पर हैं भ्रष्टाचार के मामले में, और आप बात कर रहे हैं हमारे ऊपर।
BJP hits back at Rahul Gandhi, says he cannot take high moral ground on corruption. From Delhi to Wayanad to Kolkata, Congress workers hit the streets over disqualification. Eight days on, Amritpal still at large. Fresh CCTV footage shows he was in Patiala. Tejasvi questioned by CBI, Misa Bharate interrogated by ED in connection with land for job scam. Prime Minister spearheads a Vijay Sankalp Yatra in Karnataka ahead of elections in the state. Viewers, we're live and breaking this Sunday evening. I'm Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest. Disqualified Rahul Gandhi blamed Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Rahul claimed that the Prime Minister is scared of his next speech. Used a Veer Savarkar reference to answer why he did not apologize over his remarks in London and during the defamation trial in which he was convicted. The BJP, meanwhile, doubled down on its attack on Gandhi, claiming that the Congress was trying to project him as a victim for electoral gains.
राहुल गांधी सोचता है मेरा नाम सावरकर नहीं है, मेरा नाम गांधी है। गांधी किसी से माफी नहीं मांगता। और मैंने कहा, पार्लियामेंट हाउस में कहा कि भैया मुझे बोलने दीजिए ना, एक बार तो बोलने दीजिए। 2 बार चिट्ठी लिखी, तीसरी बार मैं पर्सनली स्पीकर से जाके कहता हूं, स्पीकर सर प्लीज, आप डेमोक्रेसी के लोकतंत्र के आप प्रोटेक्टर हैं, मुझे बोलने दीजिए। मुस्कुरा के कहते हैं भैया मैं तो नहीं कर सकता। आप नहीं कर सकते तो कौन कर सकता है? शायद मुझे जाके मोदी जी से पूछना पड़े, वो तो करने नहीं देंगे। तो मेरा जो पॉइंट है, इस देश में लोकतंत्र खत्म हो गया है। इस देश के लोग जो इनके दिल में है, हमारे दिल में है, बोल नहीं सकते हैं। इस देश के इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर आक्रमण हो रहा है। और उस आक्रमण का मैकेनिज्म क्या है? उस आक्रमण का मैकेनिज्म नरेंद्र मोदी जी और अदानी जी का रिश्ता है।
And the BJP is hitting the right back at Vadra Congress for Veer Savarkar himself. Listen in.
अब राहुल गांधी जी इसको तो समझ नहीं रहे हैं, बाकी सावरकर जी तक चले गए। वो मतलब वीर सावरकर ने देश के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी, उनके साथ क्या क्या अत्याचार हुआ। राहुल गांधी जी तो चांदी या सोने के चम्मच के साथ पैदा हुए, तो कम से कम अपनी राजनीति के लिए ना ऐसे महान लोगों के साथ अनादर करना, वो भी मुझे लगता है देश की जनता उनको चुनावों में बता देगी।
राहुल गांधी जिस तरह से स्वातंत्रवीर सावरकर का अपमान करते हैं, तो स्वातंत्रवीर सावरकर ने फ्रीडम के लिए क्या यातनाएं वहाँ पे सही थी, उसको देखना चाहिए। उन्होंने जो सालों साल सहा, ये एक दिन भी सह नहीं सकेंगे। इसके वो बोल रहे हैं वो सही है कि वो सावरकर नहीं है, और वो सावरकर नहीं हो सकते क्योंकि सावरकर स्वातंत्रवीर थे। ये तो ऐसे है कि विदेश में जाते हैं, अपने ही कंट्री की बेइज्जती करते हैं और वहाँ से क्लैप करेंगे ये लोग।
आज आपण ज्या राहुल गांधी यांनी फक्त पंतप्रधानांचा अपमान नाही केला अध्यक्ष महोदय, त्यांनी समस्त ओबीसी समाजाचा अपमान केलेला आहे। ओबीसी समाजाचा अपमान केला आहे आणि म्हणून त्यांचा निषेध या ठिकाणी करावा तेवढा थोडा आहे।
And viewers, as usual, the Vadra Congress has come out once again and jumped into the defense of Rahul Gandhi, trailing guns against the central government. Here's more on that.
Talk about the legalities. Rahul ji stated that I'm not going to speak about that. There was a question which was asked by a journalist on that Rahul ji was seen losing control. Why is it happening so that Rahul ji is not speaking about the specific questions?
If a matter is in court, then is it wise for anybody to make a statement regarding that? Obviously, it is a process, it's a legal process, and I don't think Rahul ji is a legal expert in the first place. He would know about things, he would be aware about things, but is he a legal expert? Am I or you a legal expert? We are not. So when you are talking about a legal matter of great sensitivity, is it for him to say something? I was hearing the press conference. What did he say? You consult our legal team. He's not going back. He's saying they'll know more than I know. Talk to them.
Other than this, this has been stated, one category, specific category or caste has been targeted or has been named by Rahulji, and on that the matter in the court was, and on that the order has came.
Maybe you'll know more than me. Maybe. Which community does Lalit Modi belong to? Rahulji was speaking about whom? Nirav Modi and Lalit Modi. Are they OBCs? I'm saying this, but you please research it and see and tell the people of India, are they from the OBC community? Was Mr. Modi an OBC? Did I know? I did not. Did he, all these years he was in public life, did he ever present himself as a member of the OBC community? He did not. When he was fighting that election before he became Prime Minister, then suddenly OBC came up. Modi is an OBC. Did you hear about Mr. Modi being from the OBC community when he was in Gujarat? I did not. He's been in politics for a large number of years. Did you ever hear the term OBC associated with Mr. Modi? I did not. I also thought maybe he's from the business community. It is when he said I am from the OBC community, then this matter, oh, this play is also now being given. OBC is also being given.
And from Adani deals to corruption charge, a mega BJP versus Congress face-off has now erupted.
पहला आपका अटेम्प्ट वहां से आया, दूसरा आपका अटेम्प्ट यहां से आया, तीसरा आपका अटेम्प्ट यहां से आया. आप इतनी डायरेक्टली बीजेपी के लिए क्यों काम कर रहे हो? थोड़ी डिस्कशन से करो यार, थोड़ा घूम घाम के पूछो. क्या आपको ऑर्डर दिया है क्या? देखो मुस्कुरा रहे हैं. घूम घाम मैं आपको उदाहरण देता हूं. आप थोड़ा घूम घाम के निकाल नुकुल के बोलो. देखो ऐसे बोलो पहले, राहुल जी. हाँ, तो प्लीज if you want to work for the BJP, then bring a BJP flag symbol here and put it on your chest. Then I'll answer you the same way I answer them. Don't pretend to be a press man.
राहुल गांधी में समस्या दूसरी है. मैं तो गलती कर नहीं सकता, मैं तो कुछ गलत बोल नहीं सकता. आज भी उनके तो आप देख ही रहे थे, जैसा उन्होंने आज पत्रकारों को पटका है और गाली दी है, वैसा अगर हम लोग करें तो आप हमारा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस बॉयकॉट कर जाए. क्या कहा उन्होंने? खंबा लगा के आओ कमल छाप का. ये कोई शब्द है बोलने के? यही तो है कि न सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बात मानेंगे, न न्यायालय का सम्मान करेंगे, न जनमत का करेंगे, न मीडिया का करेंगे. आज देखिए अपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में संजय, उन्होंने देश के मीडिया का क्या सम्मान किया है.
What is the Prime Minister's relationship with Mr. Adani? I showed a picture of the Prime Minister and Mr. Adani's plane relaxing, and I put this proof on the table. Immediately after that, the BJP started its work.
2008 में यूपीए रूल में अडानी ग्रुप ने बुनियो कोल माइन इंडोनेशिया में खरीदा था. तो क्या मनमोहन सिंह गए थे, राहुल गांधी की आप गए थे? 2010 में यूपीए रूल में कार्माइकल माइन ऑस्ट्रेलिया में अडानी ग्रुप ने खरीदा था. तो क्या मनमोहन सिंह गए थे? 2010 में यूपीए रूल में अडानी ने 1.6 बिलियन डॉलर इंडोनेशियन गवर्नमेंट में रेल और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए घोषणा किया था. और 2011 में यूपीए रूल में अडानी ने गैलिली माइन एबॉट पॉइंट पोर्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया में खरीदा था. तो ये तो आपकी सरकार में हो रहा था.
For viewers, much more coming up on the other side. Prime Minister spearheading the Vijay Sankalp Yatra in Karnataka ahead of elections in the state. Stay tuned.
The opinion about Israel within the Indian population is much more favorable vis-a-vis how Israel is seen, for example, even in the United States.
There is a known phenomena here that Israelis after military service, they choose to come to India, what I call a full immersion visit. So they don't come 5-star hotels. They go backpackers, they want to live, they go to Vipassana, and they want to be part, I think, and parcel of the culture, to live like Indians. 30, 40 years, Israelis have been doing it. Now it's a second generation. I see the parents here coming and bringing their teenager children to show them their experience from India when they were after military service.
The opposition party is protesting right outside the parliament at the Vijay Chowk. We have seen uproar in both the houses where the houses have been already adjourned till Monday. Whereas we are also seeing certain demands of the opposition party. They are saying that they want JPC to be made in. On the other hand, they are also protesting on Rahul Gandhi's issue where Rahul Gandhi has been already given the punishment for 2 years.
Hundreds of Congress workers who are marching in from the KPCC office on Queen's Road, Mr. Siddaramaiah, who are going on and making sure that they will approach the governor and demand that the SC/ST hike in Act will be brought under Schedule 9, because this has been a long pending demand of the BJP, the Congress and the JDS as well. The Congress have taken this particular march at a time when the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in the state of Karnataka, and they will intensify their demands against the Basuraj Bommai-led government.
Armed struggle is the only way. Investing in armed struggle and destabilizing India with, how they've been operating for the last 30 years, assassinating Indian government officials, attacking military bases.
I wrote Adi Shankaracharya, Hinduism's greatest thinker, and I will take off from what Vivek said. कि देखिए जो ये विराट विरासत है उसको समझने के लिए जो ऊपरी तय है उसके नीचे जाना बड़ा जरूरी है.
What is there to say about the Puranas? Oh, we know about the Puranas because we watched Puranas.
Viewers, we're live and breaking, and Centre for Democracy, Pluralism and Human Rights tabled a fact-finding report before the UK House of Commons on the Leicester violence from 2022. The report talks of how the Hindu community was targeted. We spoke to the author of the report, Rashmi Sawant. Here's the conversation that we had with her. Viewers, we'll be joined right now by Rashmi Sawant. Now, Rashmi Sawant is an activist, and the Centre for Democracy, Pluralism and Human Rights has tabled a fact-finding report on human rights. And Rashmi, my first question to you is, what are these findings of this report? Because this report has been submitted to the British Parliament, Rashmi.
Hi, Shivangi. I think this is a very important report. So this sheds light on the circumstances around the violence that happened in Leicester in the United Kingdom in 2022, where the Hindu community was directly affected. If you recall, I think a few weeks in August and September last year, the Hindu community in East Leicester was heavily targeted. Hindu homes were smashed, Hindu-owned cars were smashed. And even the temple in Leicester, there were people on top of the compound and they burned the flag and they tried to ransack the entire temple. So the Hindu community was effectively attacked in East Leicester last year. And this report kind of puts down the facts, the circumstances surrounding that, why it happened, and what can be done legislatively to protect the micro-minority community that the Hindu community is in the United Kingdom, and make sure that such things do not happen with the community in the future.
So if you could take our viewers through all the actions and recommendations which are in this report, take our viewers through the top 3 recommendations which have come out in this fact-finding report.
Well, I think the important thing about this fact-finding report is that it firstly discusses how the Hindu community was defamed and vilified during this period. You can see that during the Leicester violence, the BBC, the Guardian, they reported that it's the Hindutva groups who are, out on the streets and creating violence, whilst the opposite was true. So this report basically looks at media bias. It found that there was strong institutional media bias against the Hindus. Even if the Hindus were the victims of violence, they were being portrayed as the perpetrators of one. So that was finding A. Finding B was that East Leicester, where the violence happened, has become an ethnic enclave of the Muslim community from Bangladesh and Pakistan. So they live in close community and they are a majority in that area. So that is what is happening. And in the months leading up to the violence and during the violence, sentences like "we will clean you" like we did in Kashmir were said, which shows that, these people, this community, this ethnic enclave in East Leicester is trying to play majoritarian politics and try to, boot out the few Hindus who live in that area. So you can clearly see that there's a transnational political externality. The same way in which Hindus are treated in Bangladesh and Pakistan, they're trying to replicate that in East Leicester just because they're a majority there. So this is something else that we found. The top 3 recommendations were that media bias has to be, combated in this country. Hindus continue to be high earning, highly qualified, least prosecuted people. They are like extremely law abiding, but still the media is against them. So we recommended that there needs to be independent, a sort of a media, complaints system wherein the people can go complain, and then there needs to be an independent ombudsman system so that redressal against the media can be taken. And that there needs to be more transparency with respect to who funds these media outlets like the BBC, the Guardian, so that we can know whether there's a conflict of interest while they report and why they're so biased in the way that they report and why they're so against the for this kind of majoritarianism that's coming in East Leicester, we propose that there needs to be more judicial oversight and more sort of police sensitivity to the plight of Hindu community, and they need to be educated about the perils of majoritarianism and how that kind of propagates through communities. So these were some of the recommendations that we made. In brief, we've made more, and the report is available to the public online.
What I was saying is that this report has been tabled in the House of Commons.
Hello.
So some of the lawmakers must have gone through this report. What do they have to say?
Well, the lawmakers agree that the Hindu community is law-abiding, that they are highly educated, and that they are not troublemakers in the UK. There were many lawmakers present, including senior party members of the Conservative Party who are in power, who've been elected 3 consecutive times, who are sitting on various inter-parliamentary groups and committees. So they also shared concerns that the Hindu community is being increasingly targeted here and that more legislative oversight is necessary. They promised to take the report across to more colleagues in the parliament and bring cross-party cooperation into passing more legislations that can protect the Hindu community in the future.
Thank you, Rashmi Samant, for joining us here. Rashmi Samant, activist, talking to us about a report on human rights which has been submitted there in the House of Commons. Thank you, Rashmi.
Thank you so much.
The United Kingdom is officially telling the people of India and the government of India that it couldn't care less. The United Kingdom is telling the government of India that it wants to do business with India, but it will do nothing to defend Indian interests. The London Metropolitan Police says it is continuing with inquiries. On the ground, the reality is the Khalistanis have a free reign. Today, Rishi Sunak and his cabinet must decide and pick a side. They cannot appease Khalistanis on their soil and hope to forge ties with India. They cannot act on every other separatist movement and in fact do everything possible to make sure that the United Kingdom is the center of anti-India activity.
संवैधानिक दर्जा देकर पिछड़ा समाज के सम्मान को नींव डाली। मोदी जी ने ही आजादी के 75 साल के बाद पहली बार गरीब आदिवासी दल की बेटी श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू को महामहिम द्रौपदी मुर्मू बनाकर राष्ट्रपति बनाकर आदिवासियों का
The United Kingdom is allowing terrorist groups to target India to run full corporate type offices on British soil. This is payback time. Last week in the UK, there were celebrations when it was reported that the economy might grow by 0.4%. If we give the British access to the Indian market by signing the free trade agreement with them, then their GDP will go up by 0.25% additionally. This is huge. Britain cannot be allowed to lecture us on fake liberalism and continue to justify terrorism as dissent. I say I disagree with the way in which Britain is continuing to hurt India's national interests repeatedly. This is the time that we finally and completely realign the relationship to let the British know where the power balance will rest.
The opinion about Israel within the Indian population is much more favorable vis-a-vis how Israel is seen, for example, even in the United States.
There is a known phenomena here that Israelis after military service, they choose to come to India, what I call a full immersion visit. So they don't come five-star hotels. They go backpackers, they want to live, they go to Vipassana, and they want to be part, I think, and parcel of the culture, to live like Indians. 30, 40 years, Israelis have been doing it. Now it's the second generation. I see the parents here coming and bringing their teenager children to show them their experience from India when they were after military service.
The opposition party is protesting right outside the parliament at the Vijay Chowk. We have seen uproar in both the houses where the houses have been already adjourned till Monday. Whereas we are also seeing certain demands of the opposition party. They are saying that they want JPC to be made in. On the other hand, they are also protesting on Rahul Gandhi's issue where Rahul Gandhi has been already given the punishment for 2 years.
Hundreds of Congress workers who are marching in from the KPCC office on Queen's Road, Mr. Siddaramaiah, who are going on and making sure that they will approach the governor and demand that the SC/ST hike-in act will be brought under Schedule 9, because this has been a long pending demand of the BJP, the Congress and the JDS as well. The Congress have taken this particular march at a time when the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in the state of Karnataka, and they will intensify their demands against the Basuraj Bommai-led government.
Armed struggle is the only way. Investing in armed struggle and destabilizing in India with, how they've been operating for the last 30 years, assassinating Indian government officials, attacking military bases.
आपने कर्नल जमाल कौन कौन से माउंटेन्स क्लाइम करे हैं बताइए। एवरेस्ट आप 3 बार चढ़ चुके हैं।
Yes.
अब आप मुझे कॉन्टिनेंट वाइज बताइए कौन से कॉन्टिनेंट की टॉलेस्ट पीक थी जो आपने चढ़ी।
Climbed sir Kilimanjaro, that is Africa's highest mountain. That was my first mountain. Then obviously sir I went to Elbrus, that was Russia sir. That is highest mountain of Europe sir. That is Mount Elbrus. So then I went to Aconcagua, that is the highest mountain of South American continent sir. Then I went to Carsten's Pyramid, that is Australasian continental shelf. So we went and climbed that. It is supposed to be the Australian highest mountain. And उसके पहले एवरेस्ट तो मैं चढ़ ही चुका था sir. Then I went and climbed the highest mountain of North American continent, that is Alaska. That name is Mount Denali. So then last was Vinson Massif, that was in Antarctica. Antarctica's highest mountain, because it's the 7th continent. So the highest mountain is Vinson Massif.
Welcome friends, in this series called The Interview, every week we bring to you one personality, one persona, and of course one issue. This time we are bringing to you someone who's an ambassador, a diplomat, but more importantly he belongs or represents a country with which India has a very special relationship. It's Israel. India and Israel marked 30 years, 3 decades of establishing their diplomatic relationship. And I'm welcoming Ambassador Naor Gilon. Very welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador, but the question is, India and Israel have been around for 75 years in its modern history, since independence for India and Israel having been established by David Ben-Gurion in 1948. Why 30 years and not 75 years?
Well, it's a very good question. let me start a little bit earlier in history. I think that about 2,500 years ago, the first Jews came to India. And what is very unique about the Jews in India, that unlike in Europe and other continents, the Jews here lived a wonderful life, equal life like everyone else. Anti-Semitism is not even a known word here. No one knows what it is, which is a big problem in the Western world today. And this was the first bridge between our countries. The second bridge between our countries was probably First World War, when Indian soldiers, as part of the Anglo-Indian army, fought the Ottomans, the Turks, and released really or conquered what is today the State of Israel. A few 30 years later became the State of Israel. Now, India was established a few months before Israel. India voted in the beginning in 1947, Resolution 181 of the UN, which decided to create two states. India voted against. The countries the Arab countries voted against. Most of the world voted in favor, and it was passed. So the start was a little bit slow.
Shaky.
I must say that our first Prime Minister, Ben-Gurion, saw in Gandhi and the Indian freedom movement as a sister movement. Although the principles were different and everything, but it was the first time, the same time. And both of us were under British. We were under mandate, not part of the empire. And if you go to his bedroom where he decided to retire in Sde Boker, you will see the picture of Gandhi on his on the wall.
And Ben-Gurion's residence?
Ben-Gurion's residence in Sde Boker, there is a picture of Gandhi.
Mm-hmm.
He used to do yoga. Mm-hmm. So he was very close, and it's said that after we declared the State of Israel in 1948, there were two countries in the beginning, US and Russia, that acknowledged Israel. And he's quoted as saying that once India will acknowledge, it will close the full circle. The issue is that it took India another year and a half or so, but in 1950, India acknowledged Israel. In 1953, we opened no embassies at the time, no full diplomatic relations. We opened our consulate in Bombay of the time. No reciprocity. India did not do the same. And the big change happened in 1992, 31 years ago.
But before we go to 1992, I'll come to that. 1950, when India recognized Israel and you set up the consulate there, I believe the then Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, said that we would have wanted to do it earlier, but then our Arab policy does not allow us. And that sort of set the template for next few decades.
Yes.
You think so? That has had a shadow on the India-Israel relationship till 1992?
Yeah, and look, India was one of the leaders of a non-aligned movement during the Cold War. And the non-aligned movement was in general hostile towards Israel. The Arab countries were closer to that, and part of it, some of them. So in this sense, I think that set the tone. That was the tone. The tone was not our consulate in Mumbai, or Bombay, I should say, because at the time,
yes,
was very much limited and also in what they could do. It's not that they treated it, it's an Israeli embassy but located in Bombay. No, it was limited. They could do only local culture, stuff like that, economy. So things were totally different. And then came 92, and two phenomena led to the establishment of full diplomatic relations. It was a period in which quite a few countries, China a few weeks before India, also established diplomatic relations with Israel. It was one element that was very historically is the 89 collapse of the Soviet Union.
Right.
So we became into a unipolar world.
Right.
And following also the first Iraq war, there was the Madrid conference, the first peace conference between Israel and the Arab world.
Right.
And this led to the change. And, from 92, our relations started growing slowly. There were visits in the early 2000s of Israel Prime Minister Ariel Sharon and President Ezra Weizmann. And we were cooperating, by the way, on defense, very strongly on defense.
In all these years?
Yeah, most of the years. Kargil support
even
of
in before 1992?
I think that there was already some cooperation. It, of course, with the years, it grew stronger and stronger. And Kargil is very much known, I think, to people, the fact that Israel was supplying and assisting. And one element was the defense, the other element was agriculture. A lot of Israeli agriculture technology was here, drip irrigation, all that.
Right.
So these were the two elements. And then I think the big change in our relations started in 2015 when the Indian president went to Israel for the first time. And then 2017, Prime Minister Modi went to Israel. And we upgraded our relations to strategic partnership. And a few months later, 2018, Prime Minister Netanyahu came here. And I think from that time on, strategic partnership is not only by name, it's also by action and by nature. So if you look at our relations, they are really, really today filling all fields. So there are very few limitations on our relations today, if at all.
But what makes you say so? Like what factors contribute to the India-Israel partnership being so wholesome? Is it because the governments align strategically, or is it because there is a people-to-people connect? Because we read often that in these opinion polls, the opinion about Israel within the Indian population is much more favorable vis-a-vis how Israel is seen, for example, even in the United States.
There is no doubt about it. I've served, I think, in 7 different diplomatic postings, twice in the US, a few times in Europe, my 3rd time ambassador. I saw friendship to Israel in different places, in the pockets of friendship to Israel. But such wide support and love to admiration towards Israel as I see here, I never met in the world. I must say that. It also goes the other way around, by the way. We grew up, first of all, when we were one channel TV in Israel, when I was a teenager 40 years ago. Every Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, there were either Arab movie, usually Egyptian, but not only, or Indian movie. So, and all the country was watching. We had only one channel, and that was the most popular viewing time of the time. So we grew up on a lot of Bollywood kind of films, and so it was known. And then there is the known phenomena here that Israelis after military service, they choose to come to India, but it's what I call a full immersion visit. So they don't come 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
They go backpackers. They, they want to live. They go to Vipassana, and they go to yoga classes, and they go to, they want to be part, I think, and parcel of the culture, to live like Indians, eat Indian food, live with Indians, live the Indian way. And, these are already for tens of years, 30, 40 years, Israelis have been doing it. Now it's the 2nd generation. I see the parents here coming and bringing their teenager children to show them their experience from India when they were after military service. So the people to people is very strong. I think also before we had the jump in the relations. So, here the people went before the politicians. The politicians came and really, straightened the line or together with the people. So here we have a combination of very strong people-to-people relations with a very strong government, G2G, government-to-government relations. We are very, very transparent with each other. There is hardly anything, in defense there are many sensitive sides. There is hardly anything that Israel would not share with India today. And India is enjoying a lot of Israeli technology and know-how because we trust India. It's a question of trust. Here, what your biggest fear in defense is that your capabilities will be exposed to the enemy. And I think that you have to trust the people you work with when you give them your technology and you share, because you share your capabilities, but also your weaknesses and everything. If you now use an Israeli system, you understand also where the blind spots of the system and everything.
What it can do and also what it cannot.
Exactly. And you don't do it with countries you don't really share confidence with.
So is that, of course, that's a contributing factor. But you mentioned that things really changed post-2015. Does it go back to the 2014 Gaza crisis and the manner in which India voted the United Nations? Typically, the pattern was that because of the historic legacy of Pandit Nehru, India's position would be a little soft on Palestine. But in 2014, and subsequently we have seen it's more nuanced, more balanced. So for example, if India condemns, it condemns both the sides and asks both the sides to pull back and restrain and not indulge in violence. You think that things have changed, particularly post-2014 with the present government and the Prime Minister and the chemistry between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Netanyahu, for example?
Yes, I think that the philosophy that Jay Shankar is speaking about a lot, and he's not the only one, the dehyphenation was the big change in the game. So for many years, Palestinian issue held hostage all our relations, with some countries. And it was a problem because they said, until you don't solve the Palestinian issue, don't go forward, we cannot have full the relations, etc., etc. So there was always a connection. I think that the dehyphenation said, we are the Indian foreign ministry, external affairs, or we are the Indian government, and we have to take care of the Indian people. Our main concern are the well-being of the Indian people. So we will work with Israel in order to promote our people's interests, and we will work. The Palestinian issue is there, it's not disappearing. By the way, I think that the Abraham Accords that came later on, the same UAE and the other, Bahrain, Morocco, applied the same logic. They said, we have for years, they have been supporting the Palestinians financially, politically, all the money was put on the Palestinian side. It didn't reach any place. There was no advancement, also because of, I think that on the Palestinian side, there is a problem of leadership and readiness to lead the way. So, there is a leadership, but I'm not sure that it's ready to lead the people towards peace yet, towards a solution. And anyhow, they understood that, you cannot wait until there will be a solution, until the sides are ready to go to finalize. So it's not that they are ignoring the Palestinian issue, but now they are taking care, putting their people first. And I think this is the movement that we can see now. And that's why with the UAE, with Morocco, with Bahrain, we have very good relations today. And again, the Palestinian issue is still there. And from time to time, they do condemn us also on the Palestinian issue. From time to time, they would condemn also the Palestinians when they do something wrong in their eyes. But our bilateral relations, and this is what India led the way, are the interest of our peoples are the main issues. And that's why I2U2 was born also. So I think it's a very good development.
You mentioned Abraham Accords. Now, of course, we are talking about Abraham Accords 2.0, but so sort of the relationship has been coterminous with what's been happening in the Middle East in terms of the peace process culminating with the Abraham Accords and now, of course, I2U2. You think this would not have been possible but for the Abraham Accords?
I think it's a paradigm change. So, ability to work with Israel, I think that, by the way, the fear of Iran had a lot to do with it. Because Israel was perceived as the country that is standing up against Iran and its attempts to become nuclear and destabilizing the Middle East, especially we were against, especially when they were destabilizing us, or not us, Israel, it's hard, but our surroundings, in Syria, in Lebanon, all of that. And I think that he was much appreciated in the region, and their fear of Iran pushed them in a way also towards Israel, but also other elements. And I think all of it enabled eventually for a change of paradigm, I think, in the Middle East. It's not the same Middle East we saw 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and that takes me to the next aspect of India-Israel relationship. You mentioned defense, of course. And connected with that is the security partnership and the coming together of two nations when it comes to challenges both the societies and the nations and their states face, which is terrorism, for example. There is this 26/11 incident, terror attack on Mumbai, and both nations suffered together. You think in that backdrop, post that, there is coming together of the two governments and the people to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
No doubt. I think that challenges, fears of people are pushing them to work together, and I think that their concern, mutual concern of terrorism, especially when in Mumbai they also went after Jewish community, Israelis, of course, in the Chabad house. So I think that our cooperation is also based a lot on counterterrorism. We are sharing a lot of information and a lot of best practices and technologies that are helping each other to combat terrorism, because terrorism, regardless of its so-called reason or excuse or explanation why they are doing terrorism, is unacceptable and shouldn't be acceptable. And India and Israel, by the way, are also in the UN and other bodies are cooperating in counterterrorism, supporting each other, supporting ideas, bringing together. India hosted here events on counterterrorism when it was president of the Security Council, and we supported and we brought experts, and so we work together, and the cooperation is really, really good also on counterterrorism and other concerns. This is one of the main, I think, basis of our cooperation and our friendship.
All right, and since you mentioned technology, Israel is known for its technological innovation. What all is happening on that front in terms of making Israeli technology available in areas where it can speed up India's march to progress and India's development?
Yeah, Israel was named in a book, the Startup Nation, and it's not far from reality. Israel is a very small country. We have to remember the difference of capacity between a country which is less than 10 million people and a huge country like India is huge. The difference is huge. And we are world leaders in many fields of innovation. India has its own strength in innovation. We are trying to work beyond the defense where we are already working, and you know, the new Indian carrier that was launched is protected by missiles that are co-production and co-development of India and Israel together. So just as one example. And there are many more examples of such, but we are taking it also to the civilian side. We are trying to connect the ecosystems of India and Israel. India, beyond having technology, has great manufacturing capacity and upscaling capability because of the size of the market and the friendships with other countries. We can work together here, develop here, manufacture here, and export it to India and to other countries. So sell it to India and export to other countries. So there are many, many potentials. We are trying all the time to bring the ecosystems together. It's one of the biggest efforts we are doing. We have I4F, a joint fund that is doing part of it on the industrial side. It's an ongoing thing. It's not easy because everyone is concentrated in its own efforts, and you know, startups are struggling for oxygen. Money is oxygen for them. So time is an element, ability to spend money going abroad. So all of that, but we are trying to encourage it all the time. Now when we are expecting soon visits of our Ministry of Economy and our Minister of Foreign Affairs, both of them will bring a delegation of businesses, mainly in the innovation sphere.
Right.
So this is the idea, to have them meet Indian counterparts and have good things coming out of it.
All right, so as a journalist, when I've been covering states, you know, one interesting aspect I found was many of these legislators from respective states and many farmers from the society at large, I know at least for 2 decades, if not more, have been traveling to Israel to learn the cutting edge in agriculture that's practiced in Israel. So you think over the last few years, a lot of Israeli technology has found acceptance and taken roots in India?
Yes, of course. A lot of
and if you have numbers, like how many people have gone there and learned agriculture, for example?
We have today in India, government to government, non-profit. We have 30 centers of excellence in agriculture, I think spread over 16 states in India. We have another 14 centers in the making, so by the end of the year we will reach closer to 40 centers. In those centers, about 2 million farmers, probably that's the estimate, went through. And we're able to acquire the knowledge of, on the one side, they give them the basic technology for the small farmer, how to increase the yield significantly. I've been to Haryana, to one of the centers in horticulture, where they told me they don't see an Israeli there because the Israelis come and do the capacity building. So we teach the Indian teachers, and we come from time to time to recalibrate every 3-4 months, hopefully, when there is no COVID, we come to recalibrate to see that things are going well there. And they told us that that the yield for the farmers, average farmer, is 4 times what he did before, because they are giving him better seeds. It's semi-controlled with polyethylene, drip irrigation, better fertilizers, everything is done more precisely. And they
is it happening at a mass scale?
Yeah, it's quite a relatively mass scale. Again, 2 million people is, even for India, is a nice number. Israel, as a country of 10 million, could never do it itself. It's done by Indians for Indians. We are just a facilitator here. I must say that. So we have these centers. They are working very well, and we have also in bees, in mangoes, in fruits, horticulture, in different fields. and some are going to Israel. Mainly, we send the teachers to Israel.
Right.
So the capacity building is also sent in, and every year, I think around of tens to 100 people would go to Israel for courses on the spot. We also have a lot of activity. We have the only water attaché in the world,
right,
in Delhi, in our embassy, and they are doing. It's also part of the agreements between the prime ministers, and there was an agreement in the Bundelkhand in UP to do a project together of utilizing the water and agriculture in the space. We do the planning. The execution will be done by Indian partners. So.
Since you mentioned water project, the most famous picture perhaps of the two prime ministers when Prime Minister Modi visited Israel in 2017 was, I believe, they were at the beach and they had that water which was purified.
Yes.
India is obviously a water-stressed nation, and things per capita availability is going to go down as we move forward. Is there some long-term partnership going in terms of making sure that on this front, on the water availability front, we have some durable solutions which are replicated at a mass scale?
So I would start by saying a word about Israel. Israel suffers a lot from the lack of water. We suffered a lot from the lack of water. Water was a commodity. In the beginning, we used to, when we were in the 50s, early 50s, a young country, we used to export the oranges. Jaffa oranges were known around the world, the trademark. And we understood that we don't have enough water to export oranges because we are really exporting our waters. And Israelis are paying the price of water is the stimulation to develop water resources and treatment. So we reuse 90% of our waters for agriculture. And the next country after us is Spain, I think, with under 30%. So we really reuse. We made desalinization into a very big scale endeavor. The biggest, I think, facility of desalinization in India is Israeli in Chennai. So, you know, we are doing a lot of things in order to conserve, to treat water and to reuse. And now there is no problem. We are selling now to Jordan, for example, neighboring countries suffering from drought, permanent drought. We are selling them a lot of water. And we are, you know, it's not an issue anymore. And we are working here. The idea with India is, again, on technology and planning.
Right.
Because the execution, Indian companies can do better than anyone.
My next question connected with technology. There's another aspect, the security aspect. And then there has been a political controversy around use of some software or Israeli technology in India for surveillance, for example. So without getting into the domestic politics component, the fact of the matter is that there was this issue and then it was connected with Israeli company or a Israeli software. Has your position, essentially what's your position on that?
You know, we spoke about counterterrorism before. These softwares were done where Israel is a world leader in cyber protection and cyber capabilities. And these softwares were developed in order to confront terrorism and organized crime. This is the idea behind it. The terrorists, they have means, and the only way to try and disrupt them is using these capabilities, or the main way. And we put export controls, very strict export controls. We sell only to governments, and again, it's a private company in Israel developed it, not the governmental. But even though it's a private company, we put very strict export control. It's not shooting weapon, but it's treated like such. So only to only to governments, not to all governments. And the precondition is how to use it. There are preconditions. So all of that we put very strictly, but these softwares are needed. The bad guys have the access to the data. You want to give the governments the same capability in order not to be surprised and not have surprise terror attacks or organized crime that is disrupting all our lives. This is the idea there.
There are mechanisms in place so that it cannot be used in a manner which it is not intended.
There are mechanisms, and the more strongly there are, if you take dependable partners and you have agreements how to be used, you know, this is how it's regulated.
All right, my last two questions, the penultimate one, the issue of trade. Close observers of India-Israel relationship would say that is still not up to its full potential. For example, the free trade agreement. India is negotiating, renegotiating with many countries. What's the position or situation insofar as the India-Israel FTA is concerned, for example, and the overall trade volume, despite all the partnership that exists on defense and agriculture?
I would go back to 1992 when we established our diplomatic relations. Our trade was around $200 million. Our trade today, according to the Indian numbers of 2022, before COVID, were around $5 billion a year, but now they passed the $10 billion a year and even more, because services are not included, which is at least $1 billion between us, and defense is not included. So our trade is growing significantly. As for the FTA, it's a little bit slow. So for many years we are talking about FTA, hard to advance. I think part of it is the difference of sizes between our economies.
Since we're talking about trade, there is a Haifa chalk, by the way, in New Delhi now, and then there is the Haifa port. So it's connection between trade and strategic partnership that's there. What's the situation on that front now? Does it stay as strong as it was post the Hindenburg Adani story?
First of all, I would say that the fact that Israel granted 50 years concession to an Indian company is a strong sign of confidence and intimacy between the countries, because Israel is a de facto island. If you look at it, we have two neighbors in situation of war and two neighbors in situation of peace, and the big sea between us towards Europe and the West where we trade. And so we are acting like an island country. And we have in the Mediterranean two ports. One of them now is in Indian hands. So you have to understand how strategic this is for us to give it. As for Adani, I was asked about it and I said, look, Adani won the tender. He paid upfront the whole money together with his Israeli partner. They paid $1.2 billion. I believe that Adani has an interest and the capability to make this port flourish. That's what we expect from him. This is the bread and butter, the basic thing that Adani did in the first years. And I do hope that and I do believe that this port is going to be a successful port. It needs the push because in the last few years it was a little bit run down because they knew they're going to take it out to a tender. So automatically when you start taking your foot off the gas pedal. But I think that now with Adani, with his capabilities, it will flourish and it will be a success.
All right, since we have somehow come back to security and that's an important aspect, my last question to you. The perpetrators of 26/11 terror attack still roaming free. Can Israel and India do something together about it? India is doing about it. Can Israel and India do something about it?
I think that Israel, it's a problem of India because the attack was on Indian soil, although, of course, Israeli couple was murdered there and the son was just here, spoke to in the conference, counter-terrorism conference that India organized in Mumbai. Of course, it's an Indian issue, but as I said, on counter-terrorism, we are working together. We are 100% supporting you. We believe, our strong belief is that you have to pursue and catch and take care of the people who use terror. You cannot accept terror. You cannot live with terror. You have to fight terror until the end. And we are 100% behind India in this effort to find and bring these people to justice.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Naor Gillan, for speaking to Republic TV.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
What's special about the Jimny is that each and every element is thought out to the detail. It's been made for professionals and serious off-roading purposes. The Jimny is all about tackling the toughest terrains. Thanks to this, when the one tire is in the air while moving over tough obstacles, the suspension pushes the opposite wheel down so that the contact with the surface is maintained. The IP and dashboard material is inspired from the material used in high-grade SLR camera lens. This material absorbs unnecessary reflections, hides scratches, and is easy to grip. The Jimny has an astounding 36-degree approach angle, 50-degree departure angle, and 24-degree ramped breakover angle. Even the iconic kinetic yellow color is inspired from neon adventure and safety jackets. They are meant to stand out in any weather conditions, so the Jimny is easily spotted, especially during rescue missions, which it has been involved in the world over.
The United Kingdom is officially telling the people of India, the government of India, that it couldn't care less. The United Kingdom is telling the government of India that it wants to do business with India, but it will do nothing to defend Indian interests. The London Metropolitan Police says it is continuing with inquiries. On the ground, the reality is the Khalistanis have a free rein. Today, Rishi Sunak and his cabinet must decide and pick a side. They cannot appease Khalistanis on their soil and hope to forge ties with India. They cannot act on every other separatist movement and in fact do everything possible to make sure that the United Kingdom is the center of anti-India activity.
आपने कर्नल जमाल कौन कौन से माउंटेन्स क्लाइम करे ये बताइए। एवरेस्ट आप 3 बार चढ़ चुके हैं?
यस सर।
अब आप मुझे कॉन्टिनेंट वाइज बताइए कौन से कॉन्टिनेंट की टॉलेस्ट पीक थी जो आपने चढ़ी?
क्लाइंब सर किलिमंजारो, दैट इज अफ्रीका's हाईएस्ट माउंटेन।
कर्नल जमाल एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहां पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है बाद में चढ़ लेंगे, सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे उनके लिए खोल दिया है। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
I wrote Adi Shankaracharya, Hinduism's greatest thinker, and I will take off from what Vivek said. कि देखिए जो ये विराट विरासत है उसको समझने के लिए जो ऊपरी तय है उसके नीचे जाना बड़ा जरूरी।
What is there to say about the Puranas? Oh, we know about the Puranas because we watched Purana stories on television. We have read, no, you don't read it anymore, but once upon a time we have read Amar Chitra Katha. All of that is Puranas for dummies.
चाहे स्टेट हो चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं सच्चाई को देखता हूँ। मुझे और किसी चीज में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। जीवन की तपस्या है, उसको मैं करता जाऊंगा। चाहे मुझे डिस्क्वालीफाई करें, मारे पीटे जेल में डाले, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। मुझे अपनी तपस्या करनी है।
From democracy under attack to Savarkar insult, Rahul Gandhi repeats charges post disqualification again.
राहुल गांधी को शर्म नहीं आती, करप्शन की बात करते हैं। भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का पूरा जीवन ईमानदारी की खुली किताब है। राहुल गांधी जी आप तो स्वयं बेल पर हैं भ्रष्टाचार के मामले में, और आप बात कर रहे हैं हमारे ऊपर।
BJP hits back at Rahul Gandhi, says he cannot take high moral ground on corruption. From Delhi to Wayanad to Kolkata, Congress workers hit the streets over disqualification, viewers. A day after backing Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party chief, says Congress misused the agencies. Eight days on Amritpal, still at large. Fresh CCTV footage shows he was in Patiala. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi spearheads Vijay Sankalp Yatra in Karnataka ahead of the Karnataka state elections. Well, hello and welcome, viewers.
This is exclusive and I am Aishwarya Kapoor. Well, should I say it's exclusive or should I say that my editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami got it prior to even the opposition leaders this time? Just rewind few hours and see exactly what Arnab said last night at 9. Was this unity or farce of a unity or this mirage which the opposition was trying to build for Rahul Gandhi? That we are with you, that the opposition stands with the Congress is broken. The cookie has already crumbled. You see, the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav, while speaking exclusively to Republic, says it's the Congress which started and misused the agencies and BJP has followed. He has unequivocally attacked the BJP but has also taken on the Congress party. And like how, viewers? So all that farce which was being built up, the opposition has said, thank you very much. We don't want Rahul Gandhi. That's what it is. They have said, thank you very much. We are not ready to accept Rahul Gandhi as the face or the leader of the opposition. And that's the topic on This Is Exclusive. But let's listen in to this exclusive interview, viewers, first. While the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav not only spills the beans, but also makes it clear, amply clear, that whomsoever it may be, it's not the Congress, it's not the Rahul which is going to be leading the Congress party. Akhilesh Yadav speaking exclusively with Republic TV.
देखिए, जो परसेप्शन है एजेंसियों को लेकर के और समय समय पर माननीय कोर्ट ने भी ये टिप्पणियां की हैं और जो जनता के बीच संदेश यही है कि जो केंद्रीय सरकारें रही हैं उन्होंने अपने अपोनेंटों को समय समय पर इन एजेंसियों से परेशान किया है। ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स से छापे पड़वाए हैं, उन्हें परेशान किया है। पहले कांग्रेस करती थी, आज बीजेपी कर रही है। कांग्रेस खत्म हो गई, बीजेपी भी खत्म हो जाएगी। बहुत सारे उदाहरण मैं दे सकता हूं जहां पर जानबूझ करके रीजनल पार्टियों को अपमानित करने के लिए, उनको बदनाम करने के लिए ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स हुई हैं। बड़े बड़े मसले हैं, उन पर कभी ईडी, सीबीआई नहीं हुई होगी। बहुत सारी घटनाएं हैं जिनकी जांच करनी चाहिए। समाज का, देश का, प्रदेश का नुकसान हुआ है, उस पर कहीं कोई जांच नहीं है। तो आखिरकार किस दिशा में दिल्ली की सरकारें लेके जा रही हैं?
अखिलेश जी, एक सवाल मैं आपसे करना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि राहुल गांधी की सदस्यता रद्द हुई है। अब वो डरो मत अभियान छेड़ने जा रहे हैं सोमवार से। सदस्यता रद्द होने के बाद इस तरह का अभियान, आपको क्या लगता है कि सारी चीजें संवैधानिक रूप से अगर चल रही हैं तो वैसे चलने देना चाहिए?
देखिए, सदस्यता गई है, स्वाभाविक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है और एक स्टेटमेंट पर उनकी सदस्यता चली गई। बीजेपी के अगर नेताओं के पुराने स्टेटमेंट निकालोगे तो न जाने कितनों की सदस्यता चली जाएगी। अब उनके पार्टी का एक प्रोग्राम है, वो जनता के बीच में जाना चाहते हैं, अच्छी बात है, वो जनता के बीच में जाएं।
अखिलेश जी, उत्तर प्रदेश को लेकर एक आखिरी सवाल मैं आपसे करना चाहूंगा। प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ इस वक्त प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं और ये कह रहे हैं कि प्रदेश में एक साल के अंदर बहुत बदलाव आए हैं। सड़कों से लेके रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से लेके G20 का भी उन्होंने जिक्र किया और इन्वेस्टर समिट का भी जिक्र किया। सब कुछ बहुत शानदार है प्रदेश के अंदर।
अच्छा, G20 से मुख्यमंत्री जी को क्या लेना देना और G20 से कौन सा जनता को लाभ पहुंच रहा है? इससे पहले उन्होंने रात भर विधानसभा में लोगों को जगाया था सस्टेनेबल गोल्स को लेकर के। मुख्यमंत्री जी को पीछे पलट करके देखना चाहिए कि सस्टेनेबल गोल्स पर जिस तरीके से विधानसभा में रात भर बहस हुई, उन गोल्स को कितना अचीव किया है। केवल हिसाब किताब एक वर्ष का देना, उन्हें हिसाब किताब देना चाहिए 14 से लेकर के अभी तक का हिसाब किताब बीजेपी को देना चाहिए। और इसलिए देना चाहिए 24 में जो घोषणा पत्र जारी किया था दिल्ली की सरकार को लेकर के, वो कितना पूरा किया है। 17 में प्रदेश की सरकार बनाने के लिए घोषणा पत्र जारी किया था, उसमें कितने वादे पूरे किए हैं। 19 में जो घोषणा पत्र जारी किया था उसमें कितने वादे अधूरे रह गए। और 22 में जो आपने वादा किया है उसको कैसा पूरा करेंगे। और एक सबसे बड़ा सपना जो दिखाया, वो दिखाया $1 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी का। जो संभव ही नहीं है। आज ग्रोथ क्या है यूपी की, और 34% की ग्रोथ रेट अचीव करना एक कितना बड़ा टास्क है। तो वो अचीव तो नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उन्होंने अपने झूठ को सच करने के लिए अमेरिकन कंपनी को 200 करोड़ रुपए दिए हैं। सोचिए, जो प्रदेश सरकार अपना झूठ को सच बताने के लिए 200 करोड़ रुपए खर्च कर रही हो, तो उससे क्या उम्मीद करोगे विकास की।
Well, so that was Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav speaking exclusively with the Republic Media Network, and I have BJP spokesperson and a leader of the BJP, Charu Pragya, and of the Aam Aadmi Party, I have the national spokesperson and senior leader, Reena Gupta. Thank you very much, Charu and Reena. Charu, let me begin with you. Charu, because there is a school of thought. Reena Gupta, smiling Reena Gupta and smiling Charu is not a sight which many journalists can say that they are used to.
It's always
but
a
Charu,
pleasure
let me
to be
start
on your
with you.
program, Aishwarya.
Charu,
you're such a great anchor. It's always a pleasure to be on
thank you,
your
Reena ji. But let me start with Charu today. Charu, is this a reality? That is this the BJP? Because the opposition is saying that we are not ready to accept Rahul Gandhi as the leader. Though Arvind Kejriwal came out yesterday, even Akhilesh Yadav, who has changed and turned just within 12 hours, came out yesterday with his support for Rahul. But the opposition has understood that they cannot accept Rahul Gandhi as the leader, to a point that without naming the leader of the opposition, a senior leader, former cabinet minister, says that look, and he said, Aishwarya, it suits the BJP the most. Charu, it suits your party the most if you have Rahul Gandhi as the opposition. I know there have been zillion memes, zillion jokes that Rahul Gandhi is the best spokesperson for the BJP. But on a serious note, this leader was saying that look, whenever BJP takes on a regional player, BJP is comparatively weak. When the BJP takes on the Congress, it's easy for them to take them on. So he's saying it suits the BJP's narrative. But it's up to the opposition parties that whether they understand this strategy or this game of the BJP, that rallying behind the Congress is not in their interest. And that is why you see Akhilesh Yadav has hit out at you, at the BJP, but he is also hitting out at the Congress. So it's very clear that that farce of a support for Rahul Gandhi has vanished. Charu.
Is over.
So is this a part of a well-structured plan of the BJP?
Aishwarya, good evening.
That 2024, let's prop up Rahul. What the Congress couldn't do, we will do. Huh, Charu?
Aishwarya, good evening. And I echo Reena's sentiment. It's
evening,
always a pleasure to be on your show. And I've had this honor and I've had the honor of being on your debates since before 2019 elections. And if you remember that time in 2018, beginning of 2019, the conversation was similar. All the opposition parties were speaking out against Prime Minister Modi. They were talking of a united opposition front, and we saw the result. The result is that all the political parties in the country put together could not beat Bharatiya Janata Party and Prime Minister Modi ji's leadership. And that is exactly what is going to be repeated in 2024. And I was smiling when you were speaking earlier because I was thinking just yesterday we were discussing how the opposition has come together and united itself in the cause of Rahul Gandhi, how BJP is not doing the right thing. And all it took was a mere 12 hours for this so-called united opposition to crumble and show us their real face. So quite honestly, what the opposition does today is of very little importance to me. What has happened with Rahul Gandhi and what has happened at both the court and the parliament with him is entirely his own doings, and I can get into the nitty-gritties and technicalities of that. What my party is focused on is to make sure we present a report card of the last 10 years of our governance, and we make a proposal and a plan and a vision for the people of India for the next 10 years to come, for the next 20 years to come. And that is what Bharatiya Janata Party stays focused on, and that is why we win elections. As for Rahul Gandhi, Gandhi, you know, I found it very appalling that a man is so arrogant, he cannot apologize even now and say that I did not mean to abuse every single Modi in the world. I was targeting 1 or 2 or 3. He still couldn't say that. He says, मैं तो सच बोल रहा हूँ. भाई ये कौन सा सच है? Every person who carries the surname Modi today has become a chore as per your definition, and you refuse to apologize. So this kind of arrogance, what comes before your downfall, and I think this is going to be the downfall of Congress party. Also, see, we must remember that it is Congress which chooses Rahul Gandhi to lead from the front every single time, even if they use another
Charu, but my
president.
question was very specific. Does Rahul Gandhi suit your narrative? Does Reena Gupta, I'm coming to you. I'll give you equal amount of time. Charu, does Rahul Gandhi suits your narrative? Rahul Gandhi is a weak opposition as far as the BJP is concerned, and it suits you.
So, we have not chosen Rahul Gandhi to be the opposition. It is the Congress party. They have a new president and they have a new national president. Why isn't he at the front? Why isn't he leading? Why isn't he doing the Bharat Jodo Yatra? Why isn't everybody rallying on the streets behind him? Congress chooses to prop up Rahul Gandhi as its leader. We have no choice but to say, okay, fine, whoever you want to put up as your main person, we are going
Congress
to respond
chooses,
to that.
but Reena Gupta
I
does the
refuse to
opposition.
believe that a party which is as old and as big as the Congress party has nobody else with better caliber.
An unequivocal support coming in. Charu, okay. Reena Gupta, yesterday we saw an unequivocal support in the assembly and both outside the assembly by your senior most leader and the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. He said, "Bhai, ye Rahul Gandhi ki baat nahi hai. This is about democracy. We all should come together. We all should come together." So is Aam Aadmi Party officially announcing its support to Rahul Gandhi? And are you also accepting that Arvind Kejriwal will support Rahul Gandhi? Reena ji.
Aishwarya, let me rephrase this. It's the most uneducated, most corrupt, most scared Prime Minister on one side, and it's the Constitution, the democracy, and 140 crore Indians on one side. So the fight is not about Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Modi. The fight is about saving this country.
These Indians chose their Prime Minister.
Saving democracy. You know, on G20 posters, it is India is the mother of democracy. And outside the G20 posters, you ask one question. In the parliament, your mic is shut off. Opposition leaders are put behind bars. And forget all that. They and their law minister have started trolling the judiciary of this country.
I'll come to you, Charu.
The reason is that Mr. Modi cannot face the opposition. He cannot face the farmers. He cannot face the unemployed youth of this country. And that is the reason why for the last 9 years, he does not have the courage to hold a press conference to answer these questions. This is a real democracy in this country where people will ask questions.
Are you supporting Rahul Gandhi?
Slogans. People will put up posters. The scared Prime Minister, 4 शब्द लिखे थे, मोदी हटाओ, देश बचाओ. वो 4 शब्दों के
Are you supporting Rahul Gandhi, ma'am?
140 FIR.
Is the Aam Aadmi Party supporting Rahul Gandhi?
कर दी. Aishwarya, this is not fair. You are not letting me speak. You are interrupting my flow. Please allow me the same.
Ma'am, I am not. I only asked one question. Ma'am, I asked Charu also this. I am asking you. I asked my question. I reiterated to her. I am reiterating it to you. Are you supporting Rahul or not? Please complete. 60 more seconds to you, ma'am. Uninterrupted. Please carry on.
Aishwarya, we are supporting 140 crore Indians who are tired of Jumla Baji of Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party can say it's Amrit Kal going on in the country, but the reality is it is an undeclared emergency. People are scared of sending messages.
Okay.
कब किसको जेल के पीछे भेज दिया, किसी को WhatsApp के लिए भेज दिया, किसके ऊपर NIA लगा दिया, किसके ऊपर ED भेज दी, CBI भेज दी. So this is what they have brought the country to. Because they have no answer to the unemployment, to the inflation, to all the problems.
But
that
Reena
are being
Gupta, are you
faced by the
forgetting
country.
that the people
Rahul
of this country
Gandhi-
only chose Modi for the second time?
Rahul Gandhi.
She's not
is a
answering your
divergent
question, by the way.
tactic.
Charu, I'm coming. Reena
Rahul
Gupta.
Gandhi is
Reena
a
Gupta,
divergent tactics.
Reena Gupta.
It is only a divergent tactics, and you put it very
Divergent
well.
tactic, but you are
Aishwarya,
supporting it.
It suits them. It
But you are
suits
supporting.
them to prop
No,
up
I
Rahul
put it well,
Gandhi
but you
as
have
the
fallen
leader
for that
of
trap.
opposition.
For a second, even if I agree, Reena Gupta, Charu, I'm coming, hold on. Reena Gupta, even if I agree, I am saying, but you have fallen for that trap then. You have fallen for that trap of the BJP with Arvind Kejriwal not once but twice coming out and saying, look, this is about the country, we will support Rahul Gandhi. So you are falling for the trap of the BJP. Akhilesh Yadav understood. Akhilesh Yadav came out and said, listen, Congress started it, BJP is following it.
Aishwarya, what we are
10-second
saying
answer, Reena, then I'm going to
is
Charu.
that the misuse of agencies, this undeclared emergency is what we are against. And all of us, Aishwarya, 140 crore
point taken,
Indians
Charu.
have to unite against this.
Okay.
ये तो अंग्रेजों के ज़माने में होता था।
Charu's counter, Charu's counter. It's a short debate,
जेल हो
guys.
जाए।
It's a short debate format. Thank you,
आज की
Charu.
तारीख में भारतीय
Charu's
जनता
counter, Charu's
पार्टी
counter, Charu Pragya's
पोस्ट
counter.
जमाने पे
Thank you, Reena ji.
Reena,
Charu's
Reena,
counter.
yeah.
Yeah, Charu.
So you've said, so Aishwarya, if you notice,
Okay,
if you
Charu's counter
notice,
now, yeah.
Reena has gone round and round in rhetorics, but she has not addressed the fact that does Aam Aadmi Party support Rahul Gandhi's leadership
I
as
addressed it
the
straight
leader of
away.
the united opposition? Nobody is going to
I
answer
said
that.
this is
And
not
I
about Rahul
remember
Gandhi.
very, very
This is
specifically
not about Rahul
on your
Gandhi.
show,
This is
I had
telling the
asked this.
democracy.
One by
Is
one, please, both
Akhilesh
of you.
Yadav going to back a Arvind
One by one,
Kejriwal?
both of you, please.
Is an Arvind Kejriwal going to back a Mamta Banerjee? Is a Mamta Banerjee going to back a Rahul Gandhi? Their own houses are in a mess. Now, Reena talks about the constitution. She says now constitution is not being followed. My dear Reena, it is by the constitution that Rahul Gandhi has been suspended today. The constitution, Article 102, 1E of the constitution very clearly says, when read with the Representation of People's Act Section 8, that if you are convicted, and Rahul Gandhi has been convicted, you're going to be automatically dismissed. That's what the law says. So please don't quote the law in a way which sets a false narrative for the people of this country, because they are very smart. They have chosen Prime Minister Modi to lead this country not once
Reena
but
Gupta,
twice
once again,
now. And the
do you
second
seriously
time
feel,
over,
Reena Gupta,
they have
I'm
chosen
not
him
getting
with
into
a better
technicalities.
majority,
One
a
short
larger
question to both of you.
majority.
Charu and Reena, 30-second answer from both. Reena, first to you. Will you support Rahul Gandhi? Can the opposition come together? Do you really feel that can you take on the BJP while you support Rahul Gandhi?
Aishwarya, we are supporting
30-second answer to that, Reena,
140
please.
crore Indians. We are behind 140 crore Indians. You cannot have one rule for the rest of the country
Okay,
and
you are
no
not.
rule for Bharatiya Janata Party. If we are talking about defamatory language,
those same
then who
140
said
crore
Goli maro
Indians
saalon ko?
have
Who said-
democratically chosen
who said
Prime
Ram
Minister
Yadav
Modi
ki
to lead
sarkar
them?
banegi? Who said 50 crore ki girlfriend? What about all of these
We
defamatory
have gone
languages?
through all
When
of
you
these
went
debates in the past
parliament,
and
you
yet
called
come out
somebody
shining with
Pustaka
the
and
support of the
Rakshasi.
people of India.
All that was parliamentary language. How is it
No, but
possible
Reena,
that
rhetorics
you have
don't
one
help
set
you.
of law for
Please deliver
half
on
the rest of the
promises. Stand
country,
by
and
people.
you have
Don't
one set
indulge
of
in
law for
corruption.
I can only
Don't
say
have
this.
70% of
This
your
is still a
ministries be with two people who are
We still
behind
follow the
bars in Tihar
Constitution. It
jail.
does not work like that. And that is the reason why the 140 crore people.
Does
I'll only say
democracy
this
mean that you
to
won't
Reena
talk
and
in
Charu
rhetoric?
both. Charu, 10-second answer. If you can answer that, Charu. Charu, I know. Reena Gupta, Charu. Charu, a 10-second answer to it. Don't you feel Rahul Gandhi, if Rahul Gandhi is the opposition face, which I really don't feel can be, with Akhilesh Yadav, Mamta Banerjee accepting, but it suits you. It's difficult for the BJP to take on the regional players rather than the Congress, Charu.
Aishwarya, we win because we work hard for the people. We don't win because the opposition is actually so disintegrated and disinterested in politics.
Then why are you putting all the opposition leaders
Disinterested
behind
and
bars,
disintegrated,
Charu? If
but
you're
both
not
my
scared of the
questions have not been
opposition
answered,
leaders,
viewers.
why are you
In this
putting
short
all of them
format,
behind
I
bars?
would
If you
request
indulge
both of
in that, you're not
you, both of you ladies who were smiling at the beginning of this, who were smiling at the beginning of the show and now are not letting me speak. I'll request both of you on a long format debate, but both of you have not answered. The BJP has not answered, viewers. Yes, it suits them that if it's Rahul Gandhi, but whether an Arvind Kejriwal will support Rahul Gandhi? Most obviously not. So the opposition is fractured, and once again, it helps the BJP. So is the opposition falling for this master strategy of the BJP. Thank you very much, Charu Pragya and Reena Gupta. On this is exclusive for both of you. We need to do a long format debate on this. Thank you very much.
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन्स आपने चढ़े, इतने कॉन्टिनेंट्स पे इंक्लूडिंग एवरेस्ट, सबसे मुश्किल कौन सा था ये बताइए?
सर, आई वुड से एवरेस्ट इज ऑलवेज द डिफिकल्ट वन. हालांकि लॉट ऑफ पीपल से एवरेस्ट में आजकल हर कोई चढ़ रहा है, बट लेट मी टेल यू सर, एवरेस्ट रिमेन्स एवरेस्ट. Everest is the highest mountain in the world and it will remain so. And I have find Everest to be the most difficult.
Most difficult.
Most difficult. Sir. Ultimately crevasses उस खुम्बू ग्लेशियर में आपको क्रॉस करने हैं. Ultimately वो लोत्से फेस में जो 70 डिग्री की वॉल है वो आपको चढ़नी है.
डर लगा कभी?
सर, आई थिंक डरना भी जरूरी है सर, बिकॉज डर जब आपको लगता है आप सतर्क रहते हैं.
The United Kingdom is officially telling the people of India and the government of India that it couldn't care less. The United Kingdom is telling the government of India that it wants to do business with India, but it will do nothing to defend Indian interests. The London Metropolitan Police says it is continuing with inquiries. On the ground, the reality is the Khalistanis have a free rein. Today, Rishi Sunak and his cabinet must decide and pick a side. They cannot appease Khalistanis on their soil and hope to forge ties with India. They cannot act on every other separatist movement and in fact do everything possible to make sure that the United Kingdom is the center of anti-India activity.
आपने कर्नल जमाल कौन कौन से माउंटेन्स क्लाइम करे ये बताइए. एवरेस्ट आप 3 बार चढ़ चुके हैं?
यस.
अब आप मुझे कॉन्टिनेंट वाइज बताइए कौन से कॉन्टिनेंट की टॉलेस्ट पीक थी जो आपने चढ़ी?
Climbed sir Kilimanjaro, that is Africa's highest mountain. That was my first mountain. Then obviously sir I went to Elbrus, that was Russia sir. That is highest mountain of Europe sir. That is Mount Elbrus. So then I went to Aconcagua, that is the highest mountain of South American continent sir. Then I went to Carsten's Pyramid, that is Australasian continental shelf. So we went and climbed that. It is supposed to be the Australian highest mountain. And उसके पहले एवरेस्ट में चढ़ी चुका था sir. Then I went and climbed the highest mountain of North American continent, that is Alaska. That name is Mount Denali. So then last was Vinson Massif, that was in Antarctica. Antarctica's highest mountain, because it's the 7th continent. So the highest mountain is Vinson Massif.
The United Kingdom is allowing terrorist groups to target India to run full corporate type offices on British soil. This is payback time. Last week in the UK there were celebrations when it was reported that the economy might grow by 0.4%. If we give the British access to the Indian market by signing the free trade agreement with them, then their GDP will go up by 0.25% additionally. This is huge. Britain cannot be allowed to lecture us on fake liberalism and continue to justify terrorism as dissent. I say I disagree with the way in which Britain is continuing to hurt India's national interests repeatedly. This is the time that we finally and completely realign the relationship to let.
मित्रों, चाहे जम्मू कश्मीर का क्षेत्र हो, चाहे नॉर्थ ईस्ट की अशांति के खिलाफ लड़ना हो, चाहे वामपंथी उग्रवाद के क्षेत्र के अंदर पल पल सजग रहते हुए वीरता प्रदर्शित करते हुए जवानों ने जान जोखिम में डालकर आदिवासियों तक विकास को पहुंचाना हो, हर क्षेत्र के अंदर सीआरपीएफ के जवानों ने अप्रतिम शौर्य और बहादुरी का परिचय देश की जनता के सामने और समग्र दुनिया के सामने देने का हमेशा काम किया है. मैं आज इतना सुनिश्चित कह सकता हूं कि देश की आंतरिक सुरक्षा के इतिहास में सीआरपीएफ के इतिहास जो स्वर्णिम अक्षरों में लिखा गया है वो आप सभी जवानों के साहस, शौर्य और बलिदान की भावना से ही अंकित हुआ है. मैं फिर से एक बार आप सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूं.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Fronx pioneers the shape of new compact SUVs in the country with its aerodynamic design. The stylish and sporty Fronx is bound to leave everyone in complete awe. Crystal block-shaped LED DRLs, next wave grille and striking front fascia, full LED connected RCL, geometric precision cut alloy wheels. 1 litre turbo booster jet engine with smart hybrid technology. 1.2 litre dual jet dual VVT engine, 6-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. The 22.86 centimeter Smart Play Pro Plus infotainment system, 360 view camera, head-up display, wireless charging, next-gen Suzuki Connect technology that ensures your safety, comfort and convenience. A futuristic and sporty SUV that's crafted for performance.
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन्स आपने चढ़े, इतने कॉन्टिनेंट्स पे इंक्लूडिंग एवरेस्ट, सबसे मुश्किल कौन सा था ये बताइए?
सर, आई वुड से एवरेस्ट इज ऑलवेज द डिफिकल्ट वन. हालांकि लॉट ऑफ पीपल से एवरेस्ट में आजकल हर कोई चढ़ रहा है, बट लेट मी टेल यू सर, एवरेस्ट रिमेन्स एवरेस्ट. Everest is the highest mountain in the world and it will remain so. And I have find Everest to be the most difficult.
Most difficult.
Most difficult. Sir. Ultimately crevasses उस खुम्बू ग्लेशियर में आपको क्रॉस करने हैं. Ultimately वो लोत्से फेस में जो 70 डिग्री की वॉल है वो आपको चढ़नी है.
डर लगा कभी?
सर, आई थिंक डरना भी जरूरी है सर, बिकॉज डर जब आपको लगता है आप सतर्क रहते हैं.
The United Kingdom is officially telling the people of India and the government of India that it couldn't care less. The United Kingdom is telling the government of India that it wants to do business with India, but it will do nothing to defend Indian interests. The London Metropolitan Police says it is continuing with inquiries. On the ground, the reality is the Khalistanis have a free rein. Today, Rishi Sunak and his cabinet must decide and pick a side. They cannot appease Khalistanis on their soil and hope to forge ties with India. They cannot act on every other separatist movement and in fact do everything possible to make sure that the United Kingdom is the center of anti-India activity.
आपने कर्नल जमाल कौन कौन से माउंटेन्स क्लाइंब करे ये बताइए. एवरेस्ट आप 3 बार चढ़ चुके हैं?
यस.
अब आप मुझे कॉन्टिनेंट वाइज बताइए कौन से कॉन्टिनेंट की टॉलेस्ट पीक थी जो आपने चढ़ी?
Climbed sir Kilimanjaro, that is Africa's highest mountain. That was my first mountain. Then obviously sir I went to Elbrus, that was Russia sir. That is highest mountain of Europe sir. That is Mount Elbrus. So then I went to
witnessing sportsmanship, glory and grandeur. RP Sanjeev Goenka Group owned LSG unveiled the new jersey and the team will be seen donning new colours for the upcoming edition. Sanjeev Goenka with ace cricketers Gautam Gambhir and KL Rahul discussed about the relentless spirit of the game of cricket. He will play a key role in producing a result in the team's favour.
Welcome to the jersey launch event of the Lucknow Super Giants. Right at the top, a big thank you to all our esteemed guests who've taken times out of their busy schedules to be with us here today, especially our BCCI Honorable Secretary, Mr. Jayshath. Thank you so much. We're so glad you could be here with us this afternoon. लखनऊ के नवाबों ने पहले सीजन में एक बात साफ कर दी कि ये पहले आप का जो अदब है, जो तहजीब है, ये आपको लखनऊ में देखने को मिलेगी, लेकिन मैदान पे और क्वालिफिकेशन की रेस में नहीं। अपने पहले ही सीजन में प्लेऑफ्स में क्वालिफाई किया और अब तो लखनऊ वापस जा रहा है कारवां, तो हम मियां भौकाल मचेगा। हेलो टू गौतम गंभीर, स्माइलिंग फेस। इशारा कर दिया मेंटोर साहब ने कि पावर प्ले की बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट डिलीवरीज है, टाइम मत वेस्ट कर, set the ball rolling. So without wasting any further time, I'd request all of you to join me with a nice, warm, resounding applause as I invite on stage the man who's one of the most fundamental forces, the driving forces behind the Lucknow Super Giants. He's put together this team, he's got his vision. We know he's an industry tycoon, but we also know his heart remains with cricket. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, the proud owner of the Lucknow Super Giants.
Thank you. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you. It's a special day, very special. Made so by the presence of a very, very special individual, Mr. Jai Shah. If I may share, he's one person for whom with each interaction, my respect for him goes up and up and up. He's revolutionized BCCI by thought and by action. The first time they broke the broadcast into actual and digital, and it went for a staggering amount. Introduction of 2 new franchises. Introduction of the Women's Premier League. I'm told the minutest detail. For example, engaging the Dabbawalas to promote the Women's Premier League in Bombay was his idea. I thought it was some marketing guru who had done this. Then I was told it is him. He's an example. He's an example of what one can do to an institution with application of mind, thought, and passion. Thank you, Jai Bhai, for being here. It's a great, great, great honor. Ladies and gentlemen, each one of you, thank you for being here. It's a special moment for us. It's an emotional moment for us. Wish us well. All the Indian players of our team are here. Please support them and support us when we go out to play. Ab apni bari hai. Thank you.
Unity in diversity. एंड यही एक टीम की स्ट्रेंथ बन जाती है और लखनऊ सुपर जायंट्स इसका सम्मान करती है और इसी को अपना स्वाभिमान बनाना चाहती है एक नए रंग और रूप के साथ, और उसको एक नई पहचान दी है वन ऑफ आवर मोस्ट फेमस डिजाइनर्स ऑफ दिस करंट era, Kunal Rawal. You know, someone who's made a name for himself in the fashion industry, redefined the way that men dress. There are some bold statements, there is an amalgamation of personalities, of colors. So before we get to the main jersey launch event, it's only fair that we see a little example of all of this that I encapsulated. और इसमें शायद आपको ऐसे जाने पहचाने चेहरे मिलेंगे जिनको देख के थोड़ा शोर मचाना तो बनता ही है. So please sit back, relax as we continue our build up. It's over to the magic of Kunal Rawal. Now we've come to that point where we're going to unveil something which they love more than anything else. What we've all gathered here for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the ultimate main course. We're all set to launch the brand new jersey of the Lucknow Super Giants. So can we have some music? And I'd request all our special guests to join me here on the stage, starting with Honorary Secretary of the BCCI, Mr. Jesha, Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, owner of the Lucknow Super Giants. Jesha, you're there. And then, with a big broad smile, as he's promised me, Gautam Gambhir, mentor and captain of the Lucknow Super Giants, KL Rahul. Rahul, where are you? Making its way onto the stage. The moment that Lucknow Super Giants, I'm pretty sure, will be very, very excited. We've seen them in their clothes so far. They look very, very fashionable, but it will come down to the jersey. Right, here we go. Dr. Goenka, Mr. Jesha. Lucknow Super Giants will be donning this sticky-looking blue jersey on the field and hoping to finish the season with a big smile on their face and hoping for a trophy too. Can you all get together now? This is the photo op that you've been waiting for with the jersey. The Lucknow Super Giants ready to rock and roll.
Fronx pioneers the shape of new compact SUVs in the country with its aerodynamic design. The stylish and sporty Fronx is bound to leave everyone in complete awe. Crystal block-shaped LED DRLs, next wave grille and striking front fascia, full LED connected RCL, geometric precision cut alloy wheels. 1 litre turbo booster jet engine with smart hybrid technology. 1.2 litre dual jet dual VVT engine, 6-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. The 22.86 centimeter Smart Play Pro Plus infotainment system, 360 view camera, head-up display, wireless charging, next-gen Suzuki Connect technology that ensures your safety, comfort and convenience. A futuristic and sporty SUV that's crafted for performance.
There is this 26/11 incident, terror attack on Mumbai, and both nations suffered together. Do you think in that backdrop, post that, there is coming together of the two governments and the people to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
No doubt. I think that challenges, fears of people are pushing them to work together, and I think that the mutual concern of terrorism, especially when in Mumbai they also went after Jewish community, Israelis, of course, in the Chabad house. So I think that our cooperation is also based a lot on counterterrorism.
कर्नल जमाल, एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहाँ पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया, तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है, बाद में चढ़ लेंगे, सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team, and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें, पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे, उनके लिए खोल दिया। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
Witnessing sportsmanship, glory and grandeur. RP Sanjeev Goenka Group owned LSG unveiled a new jersey, and the team will be seen donning new colours for the upcoming edition. Sanjeev Goenka with ace cricketers Gautam Gambhir and KL Rahul discussed about the relentless spirit of the game of cricket. He will play a key role in producing a result in the team's favour.
First impressions, proud of the team of course, but how excited are you for this new beginning?
I really loved it. When Kunal shared it with me a few days ago, I sort of fell in love with it completely.
You know, everyone must be wondering, it's the second season, so the whole idea behind going for a slightly new look, what does the jersey stand for? What are the most important principles, you know, by design that you've tried to capture in the jersey?
So we took a little bit of cue from Vastu, and there is LSG inscribed all over it. So what you see here, this is actually LSG all over. So it's not only just the logo, but it's LSG written all over it. And these are colors which symbolize power, achievement. So hopefully, we are going to try for the cup this time.
I'm sure you'll try for the cup, but you must be mighty proud of the achievement. You know, first time team comes together, gets into the playoffs. So just your reactions on that. I'm just giving KL a little more time because, you know, boy, he'll get into the intricate details of fashion and maybe colors and all a little bit maybe. So
yes, we were happy with the performance, but I think it's wonderful that Gujarat for the first time participated and went on to win the trophy. So it's a real tribute to the ownership and the team management, and heartiest congratulations to them. And we just hope we can emulate them this year.
Fabulous. KL, your first reactions?
Yeah, I think for me it's always how good it looks. The style quotient is very important for me, and I've been trying to chew Sanjeev sir's ear off for the last year or so to make something that, you know, we all as players feel really comfortable and we feel like we look good in it. And it's obviously something that we wear with a lot of pride, and we represent the franchise with a lot of passion, and we want to wear something that also shows and represents that. So my first initial reaction is obviously, you know, it's a very stylish looking jersey, and can't wait to wear it on the first and have a great season this year.
Gautam, colors that are much closer to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always bled blue, so what better than this? And it's blue, but I've always believed one thing: the best jersey, the jersey that wins.
Oh, there you go. He's already started. Gautam Gambhir in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely love it.
Mentor is already, you know, he's giving us the pep talks already. Yeah.
I'd actually saved this question for much later, but now that you brought it up, before I go to the mentor, let me ask you, are there moments, because we, you know, when we're on commentary, we're looking and we're just saying, okay, which over do you think Gautam is going to finally go in the middle? Because he looks, you know, he's sitting in front of a laptop.
No, I have to counter that question because you guys hero worship someone a lot, so that's one of the reasons.
Oh, GG.
Yeah, we should worship Indian cricket, not hero worship people.
Oh, we do. We love you, and we're always, you know, the intensity. We try to decode the team talk. People. Oh, not my decision to take, Gautam, but we love it. You know, we love when you're sitting in front of data, because then I can ask you, Gautam, can I lead you to maybe a question which surrounds data a bit? But it's a season where one of the greatest things is that IPL is going back, right? You're going home and away. You'll be playing in Lucknow. You'll have your fans behind you, and that is such a major thing. You felt it, you know, throughout the career that you were playing. How big an advantage is? What has been the talk around the IPL and Lucknow going home?
We can't wait for it, and it's always great fun playing in front of a home crowd, and we want to make that a fortress. We want our fans to be pretty loyal. I've been around. I've played for KKR for a very long time, and they were one of the most loyal supporters of KKR, and that is exactly what we want to emulate in Lucknow as well. When they come back, when they come to the stadium, they should enjoy the way cricket is played in Lucknow, how we play in Lucknow, and that is what we want. And when they go back home, they should cherish our performances as well. All we can do is, see, results sometimes cannot be the way you want it to be, but we can still enjoy the way we play on the cricket field, and at the same time, give that much of enjoyment to the crowd as well.
You've played at the ground, KL. You'll be taking your troops there. half the matches. That's always spoken about very strategically. You turn your own home ground into your den of sorts. What are some of the areas, without revealing too much, that you're already having a chat with the boys whenever you get an opportunity?
I think a few of us have played there already, and there have been a few matches that have been that have happened in Ekana Stadium, and something that's very obvious is it's a big ground. The dimension of the ground is bigger, and I think that's something that we will try to use to our advantage. And I don't want to give away too much about what kind of pitch we want to play on. It's something that we've had a couple of chats about, and we'll see what works best for our team and try and use a little bit of home advantage. But I think overall we'll just try and create a good wicket, a good atmosphere. Like Gigi Bhai said, we want the crowds to come in and enjoy the cricket, and we want the teams that come in as well to, we want to compete and have a good game, and whatever works best for us, we'll try and do that also, and also try to play great cricket for people around the country to enjoy, and just play some aggressive and fearless cricket.
Dr. Goenka, when you look at a team, when you're setting it up, the first thing that I'm sure as a team owner that you want to inculcate is a culture, that the team is then remembered wherever you go, an identity of sorts. So what are some of the things that are non-negotiable for you, what you want the Lucknow Super Giants to stand for?
Competitive, fierce desire to win, and fair.
Enough, impactful, to the point. Gautam, as a mentor, what are the challenges that you look up to? If you could just sort of simplify the role that you perform, what are the things, that can get tricky? How do you approach them?
This season could be tricky. I'm not saying, because previous season, obviously, we played in certain conditions and the conditions were pretty similar. But this season, when you go to Chennai, which is completely different to what you get in Delhi to when you go to Jaipur. So you will have to be consistent, and more importantly, adaptability. Adaptability is very important, because you'll be on a road for a pretty long period of time. And I've always been a believer that 2 months is a very long time, and the tournament lasts for 2 months. So it's not important. It is important to start off well and play consistently, but there'll be hiccups on the way. So I think the team that stays mentally tough, and more importantly in T20 cricket, if you have the courage is one word which is very, very important. When you're in doubt, be positive and be courageous when those important moments come in. And that is what T20 cricket is all about. If we can be courageous enough and we can express ourselves and be positive and fearless, I think we'll be fine.
There's a little clip that was shared recently, which is incredible. You were talking about everyone and, harping on the importance that there are no hierarchies when you're wearing this jersey. And you've always said this thing that resonates with everyone, that it's not about the name at the back, it's the name at the front. You're playing for a team. Just talk us through the little conversations you've had with the younger lot so far. And
I remember going to the Indian dressing room for the first time, and I always thought that, why is there so much of hierarchy? I think when you're playing for the country, everyone is absolutely equal. When you're playing for the same franchise, everyone is absolutely equal. From international to domestic, from first-class cricketers who've played 100 first-class matches to someone who's just making his debut. Because when your mission is the same, there can't be any hierarchy, because everyone sitting in that dressing room has only one objective. Whether it's the players or the support staff, is to probably win the tournament. And when you've got that same vision, I've never believed in hierarchy.
You must really benefit from all of this, right, KL? Because there are lots of youngsters, there are lots of senior pros. So when at least everyone is walking in the same direction, you've just thrown down the gauntlet. Makes life easy. How's the relationship? The captain, mentor thing, things that you talk about, things that are on your roster.
Yeah, I think having great support staff and the support team around makes my life as a captain, or just generally the team's atmosphere, really good, and something that we've tried to create is like he said, we want guys to compete and be courageous and all of that, but there's also been a lot of clarity. There's also been a lot of respect for each other, and for whoever walks into that team feels like they're part of something bigger, part of a Lucknow Super Giants family, and that's something that we've tried to create. I know it's only been 1 year, but I think we did really well in creating that sort of culture in one season that we've played, and we'll try and build on it and get better with that. And I think when you create something like that, then the boys and just the team, everyone looks forward to turning up in March and April and wanting to really compete together, work together, and try and win as many games as we can, compete to play in the finals. The dreams, and like Gigi Bhai says, everyone walks in the same direction. So that's something that is important that we try to create as a new franchise, and we've done that, but we obviously need to build on it and get better. And in terms of the players that we have, they've we've all played together quite a lot. A lot of guys that are on the team are people who have played with in different franchises, but we've all come together beautifully, and we're all in that age group where we've played enough cricket, but we haven't played too much cricket. So there's excitement, but there's a little bit of experience as well. So I think that's the sweet spot of our team, where guys have enough experience and they're raring to go and very excited about playing in the next 2 months in the IPL.
Dr. Goenka, where is this, the excitement that KL's talking about? We hear it from obviously all the cricketers and all, but from your personal point of view, we've seen your involvement, we've seen your excitement, we've seen your commitment. Where does this all stem from, and what excites you the most about being a team owner of this franchise?
Frankly, I was a pathetic cricketer when I was a kid. So I've always had this thing in my mind. But jokes aside, I think it's about seeing this energy, seeing this, the pulse, seeing people resonate with your cause. I think that's the biggest motivator.
It's there to see. Gautam, one final question from the last year. Obviously, conditions and a lot of, in terms of strategies, things will be different as the conditions change. What are some of the learnings that you'd like to incorporate and take forward heading into this season?
There'll always be learnings. It's not that there won't be learnings. Obviously, it's important to play the important moments really well, and that's the reason why I use that word courage. That there'll be times in that competition where we'll be pushed to the corner. How we react to that is very, very important, and that will decide how far do we go in this competition. Because there'll be teams that will push us, and there'll be times we might not be playing good cricket. There'll be times there'll be ups and downs as well. But how we react to those moments will be equally important, and we did that really well in the previous season. And I know that the first aim is to probably reach the playoffs, and after that it's all based on the day, how well you play. But again, for me, I think being courageous and being fearless is something which probably is the definition going into this season.
And do you think you're also sitting at a very nice spot? We're seeing some teams having to go through transition, which is a very obvious thing that will happen in a long league. But when you look at the bunch of players that you have, when you look at the experience that they bring, you look at the age group, you could actually build onto a solid legacy that could carry on for a few years with this bunch that you have.
It starts with the captain. I think captain is the flag bearer of the team, and it is the captain's team. All of us in the dressing room are there to support him, and there'll be times no support staff can be under the amount of pressure a captain is under in a tournament like the IPL. So the kind of support we can give to the captain, and it's the captain that leads the side, and it's the body language of the captain that will decide how we play on the cricket field. And we were very fortunate that we have someone like KL Rahul, who's got a very, very stable head and a very balanced head as well, because I wish I had that when I was captain, to be honest. I didn't have that. I was probably very extreme, and it did work for me. But for a franchise like Lucknow, it is important to have someone like KL at the helms of it, and I feel that I think going forward, I think this is going to be a massive positive for us.
Big thank you to everyone for joining us here and making this jersey launch even more special for Lucknow Super Giants.
Fronx pioneers the shape of new compact SUVs in the country with its aerodynamic design. The stylish and sporty Fronx is bound to leave everyone in complete awe. Crystal block-shaped LED DRLs, next wave grille and striking front fascia, full LED connected RCL, geometric precision cut alloy wheel. 1 litre turbo booster jet engine with smart hybrid technology. 1.2 litre dual jet dual VVT engine, 6-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. The 22.86 centimeter Smart Play Pro Plus infotainment system, 360 view camera, head-up display, wireless charging, next-gen Suzuki Connect technology that ensures your safety, comfort and convenience. A futuristic and sporty SUV that's crafted for performance.
There is this 26/11 incident, terror attack on Mumbai, and both nations suffered together. You think in that backdrop, post that, there is coming together of the two governments and the people to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
No doubt. I think that challenges, fears of people are pushing them to work together, and I think that the mutual concern of terrorism, especially when in Mumbai they also went after Jewish community, Israelis, of course, in the Chabad house. So I think that our cooperation is also based a lot on counter-terrorism.
कर्नल जमाल, एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहां पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया, तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है, बाद में चढ़ लेंगे। सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team, and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें, पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे, उनके लिए खोल दिया। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन्स आपने चढ़े, इतने कॉन्टिनेंट्स पे इंक्लूडिंग एवरेस्ट, सबसे मुश्किल कौन सा था ये बताइए।
सर, आई वुड से एवरेस्ट इज ऑलवेज द डिफिकल्ट वन। हालांकि लॉट ऑफ पीपल से एवरेस्ट में आजकल हर कोई चढ़ रहा है, बट लेट मी टेल यू सर, एवरेस्ट रिमेन्स एवरेस्ट. Everest is the highest mountain in the world and it will remain so. And I have find Everest to be the most difficult.
Most difficult.
Most difficult sir. Ultimately crevasses उस खुम्बू ग्लेशियर में आपको क्रॉस करने हैं. Ultimately वो लोत्से फेस में जो 70 डिग्री की वॉल है वो आपको चढ़नी है.
डर लगा कभी?
सर आई थिंक डरना भी जरूरी है सर, बिकॉज डर जब आपको लगता है आप सतर्क रहते हैं.
The United Kingdom.
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन्स आपने चढ़े, इतने कॉन्टिनेंट्स पे इंक्लूडिंग एवरेस्ट, सबसे मुश्किल कौन सा था ये बताइए.
सर आई वुड से एवरेस्ट इज ऑलवेज द डिफिकल्ट वन. हालांकि लॉट ऑफ पीपल से सर एवरेस्ट में आजकल हर कोई चढ़ रहा है, बट लेट मी टेल यू सर, एवरेस्ट रिमेन्स एवरेस्ट. Everest is the highest mountain in the world and it will remain so. And I have find Everest to be the most difficult.
Most difficult.
Most difficult sir. Ultimately crevasses उस खुम्बू ग्लेशियर में आपको क्रॉस करने हैं. Ultimately वो लोत्से फेस में जो 70 डिग्री की वॉल है वो आपको चढ़नी है.
डर लगा कभी?
सर आई थिंक डरना भी जरूरी है सर, बिकॉज डर जब आपको लगता है आप सतर्क रहते हैं.
A very good evening, viewers. You're watching the biggest story tonight. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. It's been 8 days and Amritpal still remains untraceable. Republic has access to clincher CCTV footages of Amritpal. We'll get you all the details of that. But first, the headlines are tracking right now. From democracy under attack to Savarkar insult, Rahul repeats charges post disqualification. BJP hits back at Rahul Gandhi, says he cannot take high moral ground on corruption. From Delhi to Wayanad to Kolkata, Congress workers hit the streets over disqualification. After Gujarat and Assam, Maharashtra Assembly passes resolution against BBC documentary. Eight days on, Amritpal still at large. Fresh CCTV footage shows he was in Patiala. Tejasvi questioned by CBI, Nisa Bharati interrogated by ED in connection with land for job scam. In Davangere, Prime Minister launches scathing attack on Vadra Congress from Slabgate to cover Khudegi jibe. Prime Minister raises it all. Khalistan fugitive Amritpal is still on the run. In a latest development, Republic has accessed an exclusive CCTV footage of Amritpal Singh from Punjab's Patiala. In one of the videos, the absconding Waris Punjab Day chief can be seen walking on the road of a residential area as he spoke on a phone. This video was recorded within the timeline of March 21st to 23rd, when his location was in Punjab. Now, before this, he was also spotted in Ludhiana, and then he was spotted in Haryana. Now, we also know, viewers, that the Punjab police has appealed to not believe any fake information on the arrest of Amritpal Singh. This is what the Punjab police had to say a short while back.
ਬਠਿੰਡਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਮ ਜਨਤਾ ਦੀ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ 2 ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ BSF ਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ 140 ਮੁਲਾਜ਼ਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹਾਦਰਗੜ੍ਹ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਥਾਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਨਾਕੇਬੰਦੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਫਲੈਗ ਮਾਰਚਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਡੋਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਮ ਜਨਤਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਪਿੱਛੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਆਪ ਨਿਕਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੁਝ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਫਲੈਗ ਮਾਰਚ ਕਰਾਈ ਸੀਗੀ। ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ DSP ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਲਕਾ ਜੀਓਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਫਲੈਗ ਮਾਰਚਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ।
All right, I'm being joined right now by Amandeep and Gursimran. Now, both Amandeep and Gursimran have been covering the story from the ground, getting us all the details, all the exclusives, and the biggest breaking updates coming on Republic TV. I just want to go across to you first, Amandeep. Now, we are seeing that this fresh CCTV footage has been accessed, where he can be seen covering his face with a white cloth, it looks like. Tell us why this CCTV footage is significant at this point of time.
After Haryana, now the latest location of Amritpal Singh was spotted in Patiala, in a residential area where Amritpal Singh and Papalpreet both were seen in a residential area covering their faces and roaming in the streets. And in fact, this was the latest location after the entire crackdown. Just because after fleeing from Jalandhar district, they have reached Ludhiana. After Ludhiana, their last location has been identified in Shabad, Haryana. But again, after Haryana, now again they have spotted in Patiala, and in fact this is the entire route they have taken to reach to their final hideout where they are still hiding. Just because so far his present location is still very unknown. Punjab police is all verifying the CCTV footages of Patiala as well as Haryana also, just because the last location, now the latest, in fact we can say latest CCTV footage where Amritpal Singh and Papalpreet, they both have come from the front side, and a clear visual from Patiala has been visible now, and it is very much sure that Amritpal Singh and Papalpreet, they are the one who were spotted in this CCTV. And further, the investigation is still on, and even the alert has been sounded at the Nepal border itself. Uttarakhand police has also made the announcement that whosoever will be provide harbour to Amritpal Singh and Papalpreet Singh, they will be charged with the NSA also and the anti-national activities also. And they have also announced a reward for providing the information. And if we talk about the investigation, Punjab police is continuously busting one by after another the module of Amritpal Singh and Waris Punjab Day. KLF is AKF. I beg to pardon. AKF is one module that has been busted, and now they are further investigating the entire matter. Like how many modules are connected to Amritpal Singh and Waris Punjab Day, and what is the possible hideout from where he is getting the ISI support? How he was managing his finances? What was the further plan to create his own army to capture the Punjab as a Khalistan? Yes.
Right, Amandeep, and I just want to go across to Gursimran, who's also joining us. As As Amandeep has got us all the latest details, Amandeep really highlighting there the Punjab police saying that do not believe in any fake news at this point of time. At the same time, we are seeing some developments coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where Amritpal's very close aides have been detained from Jammu and Kashmir. Take us through that development, Gursimran.
See, it was at around yesterday night 9:30 that when Punjab police informed the J&K police about that what the information was given to J&K police that a mobile number is being operated by Amritpal and his associate Papalpreet, and their location is in the RSpura sector of Jammu district, after which the Jammu and Kashmir police swung into action, and at 10:40, that means 1 hour and within 10 minutes, 2 suspects were detained. One was Amrik Singh and his wife Sarabjit Kaur. There was no presence of Papalpreet or Amritpal at that very area, but yes, the both couple, those who have been detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police, they admitted to have spoken to Papalpreet as well as Amritpal, although they said that they have no contact with them post 18 March when Operation AP was launched by the Punjab police. They were handed over to the Punjab police by the J&K police today morning, and now the investigation is on. But when it comes to the part of Punjab police, there has been laxity, there is no doubt to it, because after a mega operation that was planned to nab a single person, that was given a name Operation AP, that is Amritpal was to be nabbed. It was the main focus, then followed by his associate. But it's been 8 days. We are on to the 8th day, and the police is having the latest information of the 22nd or 23rd of March. That means they are already running 2 to 3 days behind what Amritpal is planning, and that is something really concerning not only the Punjab police but also the central agencies, that why it is taking so long for them to find Amritpal, the man they have launched an operation for with the help of central forces as well as the 80,000 state police.
Right, Gursimran. So Gursimran, Amandeep getting us the top updates right now, and like both Gursimran and Amandeep are getting us the latest which is coming in as the search continues for Amritpal. The big question is where he is, because he's changed location multiple times: Ludhiana, Haryana, Patiala, and remember viewers, more than 80,000 police personnel are trying to nab Amritpal, viewers. And as the hunt for Amritpal continues, a credit war has now erupted, with Aam Aadmi Party patting itself on the back, claiming credit for the crackdown, while the BJP continues to question the belated action.
पिछले कुछ दिनों में आपने देखा किस तरह से कुछ लोगों ने पंजाब का माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश की। हमें किसी हालत में माहौल खराब नहीं होने देना। हमें पंजाब में शांति और कानून व्यवस्था बना के रखनी है। कई बार कठोर निर्णय लेने पड़ते हैं, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी की हमारी पंजाब सरकार भगवंत मान जी के नेतृत्व में अगर हमें कठोर निर्णय लेने पड़ेंगे, हम कठोर निर्णय लेने से भी पीछे नहीं हटेंगे। पिछले कुछ दिनों के अंदर जिस तरह से पंजाब के अंदर शांति व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए मान साहब ने कठोर निर्णय लिए, लेकिन बिना एक भी गोली चले, बिना कोई भी खून बहे, पूरे पंजाब के अंदर आज शांति व्यवस्था बरकरार है। और जो गलत काम करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, वो लोग आज दुम दबा के भाग रहे हैं। तो किसी जो भी शांति खराब करने की कोशिश करेगा उसे बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
Viewers, this afternoon, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi addressed his first press conference after facing disqualification as Lok Sabha MP. Disqualified Rahul Gandhi blamed the Prime Minister in that press conference. Rahul claimed that the Prime Minister is scared of his next speech and used a Veer Savarkar reference to answer why he did not apologize over his remarks in London and during the defamation trial in which he was convicted. The BJP, meanwhile, doubled down on its attack on Gandhi, claiming the Congress was trying to project him as a victim for electoral gains.
राहुल गांधी सोचता है मेरा नाम सावरकर नहीं है, मेरा नाम गांधी है। गांधी किसी से माफी नहीं मांगता। और मैंने कहा, पार्लियामेंट हाउस में कहा कि भैया मुझे बोलने दीजिए ना, एक बार तो बोलने दीजिए। 2 बार चिट्ठी लिखी, तीसरी बार मैं पर्सनली स्पीकर से जाके कहता हूं, स्पीकर सर प्लीज, आप डेमोक्रेसी के लोकतंत्र के आप प्रोटेक्टर हैं, मुझे बोलने दीजिए। मुस्कुरा के कहते हैं भैया मैं तो नहीं कर सकता। आप नहीं कर सकते तो कौन कर सकता है? शायद मुझे जाके मोदी जी से पूछना पड़े, वो तो करने नहीं देंगे। तो मेरा जो पॉइंट है, इस देश में लोकतंत्र खत्म हो गया है। इस देश के लोग जो इनके दिल में है, हमारे दिल में है, बोल नहीं सकते हैं। इस देश के इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, और उस आक्रमण का मैकेनिज्म क्या है? उस आक्रमण का मैकेनिज्म नरेंद्र मोदी जी और अदानी जी का रिश्ता है।
So viewers, after that press conference by Rahul Gandhi, we saw shortly after that the BJP also held a counter news conference, and they countered every allegation that Rahul Gandhi made. The BJP hit back at the Vadra Congress for the Veer Savarkar insult as well. Listen in.
अब राहुल गांधी जी इसको तो समझ नहीं रहे हैं, बाकी सावरकर जी तक चले गए। वो मतलब वीर सावरकर ने देश के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी, उनके साथ क्या क्या अत्याचार हुआ। राहुल गांधी जी तो चांदी या सोने के चम्मच के साथ पैदा हुए, तो कम से कम अपनी राजनीति के लिए ना ऐसे महान लोगों के साथ अनादर करना, वो भी मुझे लगता है देश की जनता उनको चुनावों में बता देगी।
राहुल गांधी जिस तरह से स्वतंत्र वीर सावरकर का अपमान करते हैं, तो स्वतंत्र वीर सावरकर ने फ्रीडम के लिए क्या यातनाएं वहाँ पे सही थी, उसको देखना चाहिए। उन्होंने जो सालों साल सहा, ये एक दिन भी सह नहीं सकेंगे। इसके वो बोल रहे हैं वो सही है कि वो सावरकर नहीं है, और वो सावरकर नहीं हो सकते क्योंकि सावरकर स्वतंत्र वीर थे। ये तो ऐसे है कि विदेश में जाते हैं, अपने ही कंट्री की बेइज्जती करते हैं, और वहाँ से क्लैप करेंगे ही लोग।
आज आपण ज्या राहुल गांधी यांनी फक्त पंतप्रधानांचा अपमान नाही केला अध्यक्ष महोदय, त्यांनी समस्त ओबीसी समाजाचा अपमान केलेला आहे। ओबीसी समाजाचा अपमान केला आहे, आणि म्हणून त्यांचा निषेध या ठिकाणी करावा तेवढा थोडा आहे।
And viewers, from the Adani deals to corruption charges, a mega BJP versus Congress face-off has now erupted, with the Vadra Congress once again standing in defense of Rahul Gandhi.
पहला आपका अटेम्प्ट वहां से आया, दूसरा आपका अटेम्प्ट यहां से आया, तीसरा आपका अटेम्प्ट यहां से आया। आप इतनी डायरेक्टली बीजेपी के लिए क्यों काम कर रहे हो? थोड़ी डिस्कशन से करो यार, थोड़ा घूम घाम के पूछो। क्या आपको ऑर्डर दिया है क्या? देखो मुस्कुरा रहे हैं। घूम घाम, मैं आपको उदाहरण देता हूं, आप थोड़ा घूम घाम के निकाल नुकुल के बोलो। देखो ऐसे बोलो पहले, राहुल जी, हाँ, तो प्लीज if you want to work for the BJP, then bring a BJP flag symbol here and put it on your chest. Then I'll answer you the same way I answer them. Don't pretend to be a press man.
राहुल गांधी में समस्या दूसरी है, मैं तो गलती कर नहीं सकता, मैं तो कुछ गलत बोल नहीं सकता। आज भी उनके तो आप देख ही रहे थे, जैसा उन्होंने आज पत्रकारों को पटका है और गाली दी है, वैसा अगर हम लोग करें तो आप हमारा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस बॉयकॉट कर जाए। क्या कहा उन्होंने? खंबा लगा के आओ कमल छाप का। ये कोई शब्द है बोलने के? यही तो है कि न सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बात मानेंगे, न न्यायालय का सम्मान करेंगे, न जनमत का करेंगे, न मीडिया का करेंगे। आज देखिए अपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में संजय, उन्होंने देश के मीडिया का क्या सम्मान किया है।
What is the Prime Minister's relationship with Mr. Adani? I showed a picture of the Prime Minister and Mr. Adani's plane relaxing, and I put this proof on the table. Immediately after that, the BJP started its work.
2008 में यूपीए रूल में अडानी ग्रुप ने बुनियो कोल माइन इंडोनेशिया में खरीदा था, तो क्या मनमोहन सिंह गए थे, राहुल गांधी की आप गए थे? 2010 में यूपीए रूल में कार्माइकल माइन ऑस्ट्रेलिया में अडानी ग्रुप ने खरीदा था, तो क्या मनमोहन सिंह गए थे? 2010 में यूपीए रूल में अडानी ने 1.6 बिलियन डॉलर इंडोनेशियन गवर्नमेंट में रेल और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए घोषणा किया था, और 2011 में यूपीए रूल में अडानी ने गैलिली माइन एबॉट पॉइंट पोर्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया में खरीदा था। तो ये तो आपकी सरकार में हो रहा था।
So viewers, the big news point today was that Rahul Gandhi made his first response after being disqualified as a Lok Sabha MP. Very soon we saw, and all the reactions you saw, that the BJP also going ahead and saying that Congress is nothing but a party of cut, corruption and commission. So once again we saw charges being exchanged between the BJP and the Congress. Viewers, time now to see what else is making news in India today. A petition has been filed in the Supreme Court that challenges the automatic disqualification of representatives of elective legislative bodies after conviction. The plea has challenged the constitutional validity of the Representatives of People's Act. According to the sources, the plea seeks direction that the automatic disqualification be declared as ultra vires of the Constitution of India for being arbitrary, illegal. On the occasion of 84th CRPF Day, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has lauded the contributions of CRPF to the internal security of the nation and for carrying out the responsibility of safely conducting the democratic process.
मैं आज इतना सुनिश्चित कह सकता हूं कि देश की आंतरिक सुरक्षा के इतिहास में सीआरपीएफ के इतिहास जो स्वर्णिम अक्षरों में लिखा गया है वो आप सभी जवानों के साहस, शौर्य और बलिदान की भावना से ही अंकित हुआ है। मैं फिर से एक बार आप सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूं।
The Yogi Adityanath government celebrates the one-year anniversary of the Chief Minister's second term in the office as his cabinet has completed 6 years in office. Today, CM Yogi is scheduled to address an event where he will present the achievements of his government's 6 years in front of the public. All India Congress Committee has released the first list of candidates for the Karnataka Assembly elections. The list, which mentions 124 candidates, also has the names of former CM Siddaramaiah and State Party President D.K. Shivakumar. JDS leader and former Karnataka CM H.D. Kumaraswamy met West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee during his visit to Kolkata. The meeting was held between two leaders at Banerjee's residence in Kolkata. Kumaraswamy has stated that they spoke about the forthcoming assembly polls and several other political developments. SIT officials arrived at Telangana BJP State President Bandi Sanjay residence to once again serve notice to him in TSP-SC paper leak issue. Earlier also, Bandi Sanjay was summoned where he was to appear before the officials to answer few questions relating to the claim he had made regarding the TSP-SC paper leak row.
Bandi Sanjay MP Garu, Honorable MP Garu, was issued a notice on 21st of this month to appear before SIT with some evidences which he is having some evidences. He already declared before the media whatever evidences he has should appear before the SIT. So he has not attended before the SIT. So again we are giving today a reminder notice to attend before the SIT on 26th, means tomorrow.
An anti-hijack drill was conducted by the NSG with an activation of anti-hijack committee at Air Force Station in Jammu. According to officials, the drill involved an entire spectrum of events, including negotiations with hijackers, followed by intervention and overpowering of hijackers by a potent team of NSG. Missile was misfired at an army unit during a practice session in a firing range in Pokhran, Rajasthan. The missile was detonated in flight and the debris was found in the nearby fields. There was no loss of life or property and a probe has been ordered into the matter. The central government has extended for 6 months the disturbed area status of parts of Arunachal and Nagaland under the Armed Forces Act 1958. The Union Ministry of Home Affairs stated that the decisions there have been taken after reviewing the law and order situation in both the states. Assam police has apprehended a person for allegedly murdering a class 12 girl in the district there in Assam. According to the police, the incident occurred at the Kaliganj area in the Karimganj district. All right, viewers, getting some big breaking coming in, and what we have learned is as a security breach, an incident of security breach coming in at the Prime Minister's event, which was taking place in Davangere. A person hailing from there nearby was inside the premises of the GMIT college, rushed towards the Prime Minister's convoy. And the PSG has detained the person and handed him over to the local police. The cops have detained him and learned that he was a BJP worker. Okay, so we're getting these details coming in right now. Now, the visuals of that also on your screen. These are exclusive visuals that Republic TV has accessed at this point of time. And as you can clearly see in that visual, we can see that a person, and this person was inside the premises of the GMIT college, had rushed towards the Prime Minister's convoy. Prajwal is joining us on the phone line. Prajwal, this is a big breach. It looks like. How serious was this? And what really happened? Why were there security lapses there?
This initially, Shivangi, has covered some. We are getting in an official confirmation finally coming in from the authorities as well that a person has been detained as well, and he was, in fact, if you go ahead and look at these visuals closely, you can see that it was the SPG which intercepted him initially, and later it was the cops, he was handed over to the police as well. And now from what we get to understand, he is basically, it is being stated that is a BJP cadre who had come in from the Koppal Assembly constituency. So as he had come from Koppal Assembly constituency, there were only a very select few cadres from the BJP who were allowed inside the GMIT college as well, because even it was barred off for the media too. The media was also not allowed over there as well, apart from the IT cell of the BJP, and a very select few members, around 50 to 100. In this particular route, which we are seeing from the helipad, reaching towards the center of the stage, which was in the middle of the grounds of the GMIT college too. And at this point of time, the security breach has taken place, and now it is being understood that the cops have also taken him into custody, and the case has been lost to, and the investigations are underway. But official confirmation coming in that he is a BJP cadre, and he is a fan of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and therefore he had gone on to approach the Prime Minister, and at that point of time the SPG has intercepted him. And also let me tell you the fact that this is the second such security breach of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's convoy, because initially we also saw a small boy in Hubballi who had gone on to garland Prime Minister Narendra Modi here, and now this person as well. But what is very shocking over here is the fact is the way that his aggressive mannerism and his posturing too, because the police are finding it very hard to control him. He is in fact trying to jump over them and again reach towards the convoy as well. So strict action has been taken against him. Punitive action has been taken against him. A case has already been filed as well. But more finer details about who this person is and what the identity of the person is something that has to be seen over here. But second such breach over here, this is something which is quite worrying as well.
Something which is quite worrying as well. If this goes on to happen again and again, it is something which will have to be looked into in greater detail.
Right. So the visuals we are seeing there on our screens is that of that convoy, the Prime Minister's convoy, which was leaving. Now, could you tell our viewers exactly? Now, there's a fleet of vehicles we can see which are moving. So, was the Prime Minister's the convoy? Was the Prime Minister also part of that convoy which was leaving?
Absolutely. It was, in fact, the Prime Minister's convoy which was there, because if you look at that convoy,
We're also seeing Prime Minister Modi, who is also being flanked by Baswaraj Bommai and B.S. Yediyurappa too. And behind them, even Nalin Kumar Katil was also seen. And the entire convoy of the Prime Minister is being seen. But he's gone in at such a point of time when the two other security vehicles were passing by, which is clearly seen in these visuals as well. So once it is gone in the visuals over there, what finally has happened is that the SPG has come in, intercepted him, and they have taken him off from the main convoy, and they handed him over to the police. But once they handed him over to the police, it clearly shows that he's again trying to jump over the manual cordon which has been created by the police as well. So this is something which has to be worried now. So we will need to get an official word from the SP of Davangere too, who had been entrusted with managing the entire security. We also had the ADGP of Law and Order, Alok Kumar too, who was present at this point of time. But it is absolutely shocking that there has been yet another security breach in Karnataka.
Right. Okay. So Prajwal is getting us all the details. So Prajwal is saying that the security breach happened at the Prime Minister's event there in Davangere. We can see that the Prime Minister is waving, in fact, to the crowd and to everyone who is there when the security breach happened. So Prajwal is getting all the details. Now the cops have this person. He's a BJP worker, and he has been handed over to the police as of now. Taking a very short break, viewers. Much more coming up on the other side.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
I wrote Adi Shankaracharya, Hinduism's greatest thinker, and I will take off from what Vivek said. कि देखिए जो ये विराट विरासत है, उसको समझने के लिए जो ऊपरी तय है, उसके नीचे जाना बड़ा जरूरी है.
What is there to say about the Puranas? Oh, we know about the Puranas because we watched Purana stories on television. We have read, no, you don't read it anymore, but once upon a time we have read Amar Chitra Katha. All of that is Puranas for dummies.
There is this 26/11 incident, terror attack on Mumbai, and both nations suffered together. Do you think in that backdrop, post that, there is coming together of the two governments and the people to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
No doubt. I think that challenges, fears of people are pushing them to work together, and I think that the mutual concern of terrorism, especially when in Mumbai they also went after Jewish community, Israelis, of course, in the Chabad house. So I think that our cooperation is also based a lot on counter-terrorism.
कर्नल जमाल, एक बात बताइए ना, आप वहां पे गए थे एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए।
बिल्कुल सर।
आपका मिशन था एवरेस्ट चढ़ना।
बिल्कुल सर।
लेकिन बीच में अर्थक्वेक आ गया, तो आप लोगों ने अपना मिशन चेंज कर दिया। आपने बोला कि एवरेस्ट तो ठीक है, बाद में चढ़ लेंगे, सबसे पहले लोगों की जान बचाओ।
2015 में when we went, earthquake happened. Then we changed our things to the rescue team, and we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. हम लोग 45 दिन का हम लोग पूरा सामान लाए थे, राशन लेके गए थे, मेडिसिन लेके गए थे, इक्विपमेंट लेके गए थे। हमने फिर वो सारी चीजें, पूरी जनता जो वहाँ पे थी, पूरे क्लाइंबर्स जो वहाँ पे थे, उनके लिए खोल दिया। क्लाइंबिंग से ज्यादा नाम हमें जब हमने रेस्क्यू किया है उससे मिला, और वो एक शायद हमारा टाइम था जब हमने एवरेस्ट को या एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप में हमने वो वापस दिया है पहाड़ को।
एक बात बताइए ना, इतने माउंटेन्स आपने चढ़े, इतने कॉन्टिनेंट्स पे इंक्लूडिंग एवरेस्ट, सबसे हेलो एंड वेलकम टू द गौरव आर्या शो। जैसा आप जानते हैं, हम आपके लिए एक से एक बेहतरीन गेस्ट लेकर आते हैं और उनकी जिंदगी की कहानियां आपके सामने लेकर आते हैं। इस बार एक नायाब गेस्ट, एक यूनिक गेस्ट, एक माउंटेनियर, एक सोल्जर, एक ऑफिसर, एक एडवेंचरर, इनसे हम आपको मिलाते हैं। हमारी शो की जीनत इस बार बने हैं कर्नल रणवीर जम्वाल, सेना मेडल एंड वीएसएम बार। कर्नल जम्वाल, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है हमारी शो में आपका।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, इट्स एन ऑनर टू बी हियर सर।
नो, द ऑनर एंड प्रिविलेज इज आवर्स। अच्छा, एक बात बताइए कर्नल जम्वाल, आपका सफर कहां से शुरू होता है? जम्मू से आप बिलोंग करते हैं?
बिल्कुल।
आपका सफर कहां से शुरू होता है?
सर, जम्मू के गांव बडोड़ी का रहने वाला हूं मैं, और मेरा सफ़र फौज में सर एज ए सिपाही शुरू हुआ सर। आई हैव जॉइंड आर्मी एज अ सोल्जर। 4 साल में 15 डोगरा में रहा सर। उसके बाद आई क्लियर्ड ACC एग्जामिनेशन एंड देन आई केम टू इंडियन मिलिट्री अकेडमी सर, और उसके बाद आई बिकेम एन ऑफिसर, और तब से इंडियन आर्मी में हूँ सर। इट्स बीन नाउ 28 years आई एम इन इंडियन आर्मी एंड आई एम हियर बिकॉज ऑफ इंडियन आर्मी सर। दे हैव मेड मी व्हाटएवर आई एम आई टुडे।
एक बात बताइए कर्नल जम्वाल, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, ये जो पहाड़ आपने हमारे व्यूअर्स को शायद नहीं पता होगा, कर्नल जम्वाल हैज़ क्लाइम्ड द हाईएस्ट पीक इन एवरी कॉन्टिनेंट ऑन अर्थ। हर एक कॉन्टिनेंट की आपने पीक्स चढ़ी हैं। ये उनको क्या, फौज को क्या लगा कि ये बंदा पहाड़ का, इसको पहाड़ पे ही रखो? ये क्या हुआ?
शायद ये भी लगा हो सर, बट एज आई टोल्ड यू सर, आई एम बिकॉज ऑफ इंडियन आर्मी सर। दे हैव मेड मी सर। जब ऑब्वियसली 2 साल की नौकरी थी सर, आई वाज अ लेफ्टिनेंट ऑब्वियसली, सो तब मुझे इस कोर्स के लिए भेजा गया, हाई एल्टीट्यूड वॉरफेयर स्कूल। तो हॉज में कोर्स के लिए भेजा गया हमें सर। आई हैव डन ऑल 4 कोर्सेज देयर। सो तब शायद जब वहाँ कोर्स करते हैं तो उनको लगता है कि हाँ, इस बंदे में पोटेंशियल है, तो उसको वी गॉट एन इंस्ट्रक्टर ग्रेडिंग देयर से, बेस्ट स्टूडेंट इंस्ट्रक्टर ग्रेडिंग देयर आई गॉट इट, एंड देन आई वाज कॉल्ड बैक एज इंस्ट्रक्टर देयर। फ्रॉम 2007 to 2009 आई वाज इंस्ट्रक्टर देयर। 2003 में मैंने ये कोर्सेज किए थे, एंड देयर ऑन सर द जर्नी ऑफ माउंटेनियरिंग एक्चुअली बिगेन सर, और उसके बाद से ये जर्नी अब तक जारी है सर। इट्स बीन 45 एक्सपीडिशंस नाउ सो फार सर।
45 एक्सपीडिशंस?
यस सर, यस सर।
मैं आपको बताता हूँ, मेरी ना छोटी सी हौज की कहानी है। तो हमारे टाइम पे क्या था कि आई वॉज कमीशन्ड इन 1994। तो हमें उस समय कुछ 1-2 साल के लिए था। वैसे तो इन्फेंट्री के लिए कमांडो कंपलसरी होता है
सर।
हमें बोला गया कि कंपलसरी नहीं, यू कैन चूज। अच्छा, हमें इतनी नॉलेज नहीं थी, हमें तो ये लगा कमांडो में जाएंगे, रगड़ा होगा। तो मेरा कोर्समेट है रावत, मैं रावत से मेरी बातचीत हुई, तो रावत ने बोला कि हौज का जो कोर्स है ना, बड़ा मज़े का है, कोई मेहनत वहनत नहीं है, स्कीइंग सीखेंगे वहाँ पे और कश्मीरी वाजवान खाएंगे, बड़ी ऐश होगी यार, आ जा तू गुलमर्ग आ जा। तो आई टोल्ड द एडजुटेंट एट दैट टाइम, यू नो, कैप्टन अनुज यूज्ड टू बी द एडजुटेंट ऑफ 17 कुमाऊं। मैं अनुज सर के पास गया, मैंने बोला सर मैंने तो इस कोर्स में जाना है। क्या ठीक है, तू चले जा। मैं वहाँ पे चला गया और मैं हौज में गया, एंड इट वॉज द बिगेस्ट शॉक ऑफ माई लाइफ। सॉलिड रगड़ा यार हौज में, तो सॉलिड रगड़ा।
It is one of the toughest courses I would say sir, and but you enjoy sir. Once you start enjoying it, mountaineering, rock climbing, skiing.
You need to be of a certain mindset, na?
Maybe sir, you're right.
हाँ यार, वहाँ पे
I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed a lot, and probably that's the reason sir. I got the best student, I got the instructor grading, and I went back there. Just after 2 years of doing the course, I went back there as instructor. I enjoyed every bit of it, sir. Probably.
अच्छा, आपने कर्नल जमाल कौन-कौन से माउंटेन्स क्लाइम करे ये बताइए। एवरेस्ट आप 3 बार चढ़ चुके हैं?
Yes, sir.
3 times एवरेस्टर यार। बिग क्लैप एंड अ बिग सैल्यूट यार। हमसे सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ी जाती। देखिए, यू क्लाइम्ड एवरेस्ट 3 times. और कौन-कौन से बताइए।
In fact, sir, we went to Everest 4 times. 2015 में when we went, obviously you know sir, earthquake happened. And then we changed our things to the rescue team. And we were there in Everest base camp for around 15 days. We helped others. We even helped the casualties. और as Indians we are, जब हमने देखा कि इर्द गिर्द पूरे